As the donkey gets outside the door, it begins to rise up into the air very slowly. It is levitating.
My God, is the rope still on it, or did you just take it off the
he took it off the
post?
donkey's neck.
Oh my
Why
God!
was it not levitating inside? What's wrong with this donkey?
It was being screamed at.
Oh my God!
Hello and welcome along to this week's episode of Sogravia, The Last Bastion. This is episode 4 of our evil campaign. Ooh. And we have a returning player who is currently not on the screen, so let me fix that. Please welcome back Rosalind Sachs.
Oh.
Welcome back. Today we have Argo playing Warren Strix.
Hello.
We have Moon playing Tylan Cinderstorm.
Hello.
We have Lavi playing Losk.
What's up?
We have Menyat playing Defender.
Hey.
And we have, as I said before, Mac playing Rosalind Sachs, who has just come back from a week off. Congratulations to your sister on her graduation.
Yeah. Yay, graduating.
And we begin with a recap, first of all. Last week, you were a player. You went to various places and visited lots of different people. You spoke to some vampires. You spoke to Cray, the pirate, who returned Kimberly to your care, who was a good friend of Argo's at the cleric place. I don't know what you call them. Temple, that's the word I'm looking for. You went into a few shops, spoke to a few people, spoke to Liuval, the Magus Arcane Recruiter, who asked you to spread malicious rumour about Theobald Grayson, the Furian Guard Recruiter. The Furian Guard Recruiter, Theobald Grayson, asked you to spread malicious rumour about Leoval and possibly get him arrested. We begin with Lavi sitting down to brunch with the fine nobles of Carthan in Embercrest Manor. And it's fair to say that we're nearing the end of brunch. You've had mediocre conversation and exquisite food. And one particular member of the household has stood out to you. Galdor Embercrest, who you were previously asked to kill, has come across as rude, boisterous, arrogant, and his political views are frightening. He believes that the whole country should be under martial law, and that the Furian Guard should be in charge of the country, and he's very much, considering he's part of the Magus Arcane, the views are quite stark and different to what you'd believe. And so we resume. I believe you wanted to steal some cutlery. Is that where we shall start? You find yourself eating with a fine silverware knife and fork marked with the initials of the Embercrest people. As I said, brunch is coming to an end. The butler is coming around shortly to clear the tables.
Fuck. I rolled a 6.
Okay. You fumble briefly with the knife and it falls with a clatter upon the floor. As you bend down to retrieve it, you are able to slip it into your pocket, but in your haste and hurry, you take 2 points of piercing damage as the knife's blade hits you in the side of the arm. And,
Fair enough.
without further ado, the Lord Embercrest himself, who you have met and seems very pleasant and polite throughout the day. Is it fair to say you'd have gained his first name? Yeah, his first name is Baram, which is B-A-R-A-M for mother. And he sort of stands at the table and he says, well, thank you so much for greeting us and for partaking in brunch with us this morning. It is such a pleasure to meet you. Losk, have you given your real name or Keiko?
Keiko.
It's such a pleasure to meet you, Keiko. And I hope that you feel welcomed as part of the noble society. We will be clearing the tables, and some of us will be adjourning to the drawing room for some lengthy card games. However, the majority of you, if you would kindly follow our butler here, Master Jefferson will see you to the door. And you are guided to the door. As you look around you, you see, I mean, it's fair to say you've been observing this all brunch. There is a fine dining table, sort of 28 places long and 3 wide, laden with fine silverware and wondrous food and interesting wines, and you've been served 3 or 4 different wines throughout the course of brunch. There is a fine crystal chandelier hanging from the ceiling. And around the table, there are levitating candles all around the table. You see a incredible sort of 28-foot dresser along the left-hand side, which is exactly the same length as the table. And within it you see fine silverware and wonderful crystalline decanters and various different items of ornamentation. The plush carpets of velvet are underneath your feet in the deepest of reds. And as he leads you through to the sort of vestibule, the room where you first came in, there is marble flooring and a fine gold-handled spiraled staircase. And considering gold is almost non-existent in the world, as you would know, this is a true luxury. I mean, something beyond the means of all but the most richest of people. The butler takes a deep bow and he gestures towards the door.
Cool. Sorry, who is Baram again?
Baram Embercrest is the Lord Embercrest himself. A very fine, noble man, a lord, good friends with the king. He is the very pinnacle of the nobility in Carthan.
So, who is Galdor in relation to him?
Sort of a second cousin.
Okay.
He lives there, but he's not particularly important in any way.
Okay.
Okay. Why do we have no music? That's why. Okay. You come out the manor and you greet your friends sort of a short way away where they were waiting for you. Rosalind, you have
Holding signs saying "Touch the wall."
You have spent last week exploring the smugglers' coves down by the docks. You were unable to glean much information about your own ship. However, you do hear that a certain pirate by the name of Farrick is in charge of your boat right now. That is the only one we've heard. Farrick is Farrick, and he's renowned for his deep levels of cruelty. And
he has my ship?
That is what you're being told.
The bastard.
Okay, your party retrieved for you a bracelet during their talks with Hagatha. Hagatha asked that it was returned to you. In the bag with the bracelet is a note saying, not much was retrievable from your ship, but we found Farrick selling some goods on an island shortly out of town, which he's made his own. And I know this had some sentimental value to you, so I took the liberty.
He's selling my shit?
And underneath that, it just says, P.S. You owe me 28 kopecks.
I love her. I'm gonna murder that guy.
Ship thief.
He's selling my shit. Oh my god, I'm so mad. Okay. All right, thank you for getting this. I should go ahead and thank Hagatha at some point.
How old did Galdor look?
26.
Okay.
He's a young man.
Alright, I would like to tell the party of what I saw and how Galdor is as a person.
Yep, consider all information relayed.
Okay.
So it is now approximately 1 p.m. You have all luncheoned, those of you who were not at the brunch, and you're sort of slightly round the corner from Embercrest Manor. Sort of down towards the docks. It is up to you where you wish to go and what you wish to do now.
What's the plan for today?
Well, so we had to go and talk to, we had to go to the tavern?
No. Well, you might.
Question mark? No.
If you wish.
Well, no, but wasn't there information gathering we had to do somewhere? Am I forgetting?
Lost
is that what we just did?
The mage recruiter at like 7, I think.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, don't we have some donkey business to attend to?
Yeah, let's get an actual job done for once.
Yeah.
As you skedaddle on down towards the stables, You stand outside the stable room and you hear a man having a furious argument with no response. He's yelling and screaming. He's, get down from there! What are you doing? I've got no fucking time for you. Oh my goodness. You know, I can't cope with this anymore. If only somebody would turn... You hear all this sort of screaming and shouting. It's fair to say a knock on the door is not sufficient.
A knock on the door is not sufficient.
No.
Okay. All right. Who can?
Door's open. You can head in.
Okay, we just head in then.
Okay, as you head in, you see a man sort of, his face inches from the donkey's face, screaming bloody murder at it. You know, insults the like of which you, perhaps only Rosalind has heard before. You know, he is...
Hello, this is animal abuse.
It is.
This is
Hello?
PETA.
He is
Responding to a call.
he is furious with this donkey, but for no apparent reason.
All right, calm down. Okay, all right. I gently go and try to tap him on the shoulder. I don't think he's noticed us yet.
He turns.
He's so enthralled.
What? Oh, visitors. I apologize.
Yes,
You haven't come to
Hello.
take this donkey away, have you?
I think we have.
Oh, well, I posted 5 coppers, but you know what? Take 5 kopecks. That's silver. I just, please, take it away, take it away. I want nothing to do with it. Its name is Carrot, but it doesn't bloody respond to that anyway. Do what you will with it. You can grab a cart, should you wish. I know Greedy Coombs sells carts for fairly little. But honestly, I just stab it, murder it for all I care. Just take it away from me. Name's Bryson, by the way. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. And your name is?
A pleasure. My name is Rosemary.
Name's Rosemary. Lovely to meet you. Lovely to meet you.
Very lovely.
He sort of, before you, as he stands up straight, he's stick thin, but very tall. He's sort of even tall enough to look down on you, Rosalind. And, you know, he has a very fine, cultured beard and hands that are far too large for his person, with dirt and grime on them. He's got a ruddy beard that looks like it should have been shaved a couple of days ago. And he looks haggard and tired.
All right. So yeah. Thank you. We then I think we're gonna try to get the donkey out of here, right?
Okay. The donkey is tied to a post by a leash. He gestures towards it and he says, it's up to you guys to take the recalcitrant bastard out of here. And he sort of gestures towards the leash, which you think at first that it's rope, but when you take it in your hand, you realize that it's actually cloth-covered chain.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Someone untie that? Or chop
I will
it or something?
take the chain off the donkey completely and try to guide it outside.
Oh god. That seems like a mistake.
Okay, the donkey seems very cooperative. It nods its head to you and it sort of trots along at your side.
Oh!
I will pet the donkey.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh my lord!
Yeah, I fuck it up. I did so well.
I did was better. What the fuck?
What do we got? What do we got?
That's a 20.
A 20.
Ooh.
The donkey sneezes and a small puff of flame comes from its face. But you dodge it with your hand. It seems relieved to have been petted and perhaps feels a little better. It trots
I will
gently
name you
alongside
Dingleberry.
His name is Carrot, but you may name him as you please.
Oh, no.
I will name you
Oh,
Dingleberry.
No, Carrot is such a good name.
Okay,
He breathes fire.
you are proceeding outside with said donkey?
Yeah,
I'll go for a reference. What did you do with the chain?
I just left it tied
No,
to wherever it was
why?
tied. I just took it off the donkey.
Okay, very good. Let me know when you reach the door.
I'll just guide the donkey outside best I can.
Okay, as the donkey gets outside the door, it begins to rise up into the air very slowly. It is levitating.
My god, is the rope still on it? Or did
No,
you just take
he
it off the
took it off the
post?
donkey's neck.
Oh my
Why
god.
was it not levitating inside? What's wrong with this donkey?
It was being screamed at!
Oh my god! Oh god. Does somebody
Gotta
have some
grab-
magic bullshit that they can do?
Tylon, you said you're going to make
God.
a grab for it?
Yes.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check for me.
At 4'8".
Thank God I
Can I
have a
try to
plus
help
7.
him? Can I help him?
Thank God I have a plus 7.
What did you get?
Can she try to help me?
Yes, sure. Who's trying to help you?
I was gonna try to help.
Yeah, Rosalind, toss him in the air. Give me
Okay.
a strength check, please, Rosalind.
A strength check.
Yep.
Can I
Oh,
use
God.
bardic inspiration?
No.
This is
Tyler,
getting
what was your
out.
acrobatics check?
24.
Oh. Yeah, regardless of whether Rosalind gets a 1, it is fair to say that you leap up and you bestride the donkey, your weight bearing it to the ground. You are now riding Carrot, who turns to you and has the most human grin on his face you've ever seen.
Ew.
It's sort of like wide smile, very undonkey-esque. His ears are sort of right, left, paddling in the air.
You're a real
Nice.
ass, you know that?
Donkey is wonderfully happy. I'd just like to
You
take
know-
a moment. I wouldn't normally do this, but I'd like to interrupt the chat very briefly just to say congratulations to Anna Carmela on her partner. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it, and I hope this week goes well for you. Sorry, I wouldn't normally do that, but that's congratulations well deserved. So, Tylon, you are astride Carrot, who is very happy, but otherwise a little
You're a real ass
preoccupied.
donkey. You know that?
He breathes out through his nose, and a bit of smoke comes out his nose.
As someone's
can't-
polymorphed
Comes out
a
of
dragon
his
into a donkey, and it kind of went half-assed.
This is guys.
Don't
Remember
do
the
that.
donkey?
I'm on it.
One at a time, please. One at a time, please, Lavi.
Remember the donkey dragon from Shrek?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, it checks all the boxes.
Oh, you are correct. Yes. Okay, so we have the donkey on the ground.
Yes, and Tyler
Okay,
is riding
where
it.
we go?
Only his weight
Where
is
are we
holding it down.
Where are we taking it?
Well, first of all, can we go back and get the chain? I don't really want to
it's fair
ride
to say the
the
chain
donkey.
was quite emasculating. Perhaps you might have a rope.
I don't think it liked the chain. Maybe just give it
Yeah.
a cart instead.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
a
didn't
cart
we
would
say?
definitely hold it
Yeah,
down.
let's grab a cart. Let's grab a cart.
You'd like to progress to Greedy Coombs's, would you?
We can guide the donkey across town and hopefully nothing goes wrong.
As you are riding
Okay.
across the town, the people are looking at you a little strangely,
I'm
Tylon.
so, I'm so humiliated.
You're
by
riding a
this.
donkey that doesn't walk in straight lines. It is doing S's and sniffing at various things. And as you where else my
Oh
map?
my
Where's
God.
my map? You're headed towards Greedy Coombs's place, but on your way, as you reach the very last fence post, the donkey turns to the fence post where it was penned previously, and sets it on fire with its breath.
Run, just run away. Just run away.
You'd like to just run?
Anybody, any objections?
Tylon,
Let's
make an
just-
animal handling check for me, please.
God damn it! Oh, it's a good roll. 18.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Okay, you guide the donkey and it sort of reels into the back of Greedy Coombs' shop. Have I got that right? I really need to zoom this map in. I think I know where things are by memory, but let's do a little bit of that. Oh. There you go. You can now properly see this. And your counter is completely moved. So you find yourselves at the back of Greedy Coombs' store. There's a little bit of kerfuffle going around, people looking at you very strangely. There is a post and a picketing fence designed specifically for holding animals of those people visiting Greedy Coombs. Yeah.
We trying to put it in the stay place. Yeah, we're going to tie the donkey down in the place that you just said, right?
Okay,
I
who's
mean,
got
I
rope?
hope he doesn't set it on fire.
Yeah, I don't think we bring the fire-breathing donkey into the building.
Who's got rope?
Friggin' who does? Somebody has to have rope, right?
I definitely do not.
Oh god.
Shit.
I have rope.
Okay. What kind
Okay,
of rope do you
okay,
have?
we got rope.
What kind of rope do you
I
have?
am prepared. Hempen.
Okay.
Okay, he's gonna burn that rope, so somebody has to stay with him at all times.
I'll stay with the donkey. I
Okay,
like this
good.
guy.
Argo, make an animal handling check for me, please.
Animal friends check coming up.
Animal friends check. That's exactly what I was about to say.
17.
Yes. Okay. At this point, you put your arm around Donkey's shoulder. Carrot looks very happily up at you. There is a little bit of smoke still breathing from his nose, but he doesn't look like he's ready to burn anything down. In fact, he looks quite overjoyed to be with you. The rest of you are headed into Greedy Coombs?
Yeah.
Okay. As you go in, you are greeted by sort of ruddy gentlemen who... Oh, good day, good day. What can I do for you?
Oh, well, we got this fucking donkey.
You have a donkey? That's wonderful.
Somebody was looking for it. Somebody wanted us to get rid of this donkky for them.
Ah, you've got Bryson's donkey. Here, that one's
Yes,
a
we
bit of a
have Bryson's
handful.
donkey. Not too
I don't know
bad.
if you're aware, but he fought a bull when he arrived.
Oh.
Yeah, it also breathes fire.
Yes, see, that
Hey.
does seem to be an unusual problem for a donkey, but... I mean, I can see the advantages should you take it into combat.
Guys, have we considered that maybe we want this donkey?
I could offer you a standard wood cart for you to, for your donkey, but I have something that may suit you a little bit better. And he takes you
Is this
towards the back of the shop.
merchant that we needed help with for Hagatha?
No.
Okay.
This is Greedy Coombs. You haven't been here before. He's good friends with the Doolittles. And he guides you out back, and he shows you what looks to be a war chariot.
Oh.
And
Sounds
it's got metal spikes out the side. It's got sort of chain and rope coming from the front, and what looks to be a fairly donkey-friendly harness with chains in it. So it wouldn't be around the donkey's neck; it would instead be around its whole body.
Oh, that's a sick
And he
chariot.
says, you see, now there is something to this that you may enjoy. And he goes over and he taps the very back corner of the war chariot, where there is a small rod with a button on the top. And the chariot condenses to the size that you could put it in your hand.
My God.
And then he presses it
guys.
again. Vroom.
Oh my
That's
god.
a
my
corp
God.
chariot.
Now,
Guys, we need it.
I understand that this may be a little bit out of your price range at 2,000 rubles, but if you're willing to do something for me, I'd be more than willing to part with it.
Wait, what is this made out of?
It is made of iron, steel, and then the seats are wooden with fine plush leather sort of gilding and fine seats of leather as well, with wonderful cushions on it. It looks incredibly
It's
comfortable.
pretty cool.
It's got 2 rows
So
of 3 seats, so you'd be able to sit 6 people on it with ease.
So it's fireproof for the most part.
Yes, it's fair to say. The only
Okay,
problem you have
alright.
is with the seating. But he says, I understand that 2,000 rubles may be out of your price range, but if you would do something for me, then I would be more than willing to part with this.
Gang, guys. Come on.
Will the donkey be happy with this? I mean, he wasn't happy with the chains.
Well, maybe we should ask him.
Let's go talk to the donkey.
Let's go talk to the donkey. Give us 1 second. We'll be right back.
Wonderful. As you head outside,
We just
you
have to
see
think
Argo
about
engaged in what appears to be a deep conversation with Carrot, but Carrot is not responding. Do any of you have the capacity to speak with animals?
I mean, is the donkey secretly a snake?
No.
Well,
Is
okay,
it abyssal
then no.
or celestial?
No. It is a donkey. It is donkey. It speaks donkey.
It's a strange
Well,
donkey.
it breathes fire. You could assume it
That one is
it
curious.
speaks abyssal.
Oh wait, if it breathes fire, I know Draconic.
Perhaps you should address it in
Give it a shot. Give it a shot.
All right. What am I saying to it?
What up,
Dude.
G?
Just have a chat with it and ask
Okay.
if it would like to be friends with us. And we found this really cool chariot that he might like.
Okay. Okay, so I speak in Draconic. by chance, do you understand me
You
while
hear
I'm
a
speaking?
ginormous hee-haw, and that's about it.
What did it say?
That's a response.
Is it a draconic hee-haw?
No. But at this point, you may realize the donkey isn't having a problem understanding you. You are just having a problem understanding it.
Ooh.
Okay, so nod your head
Interesting.
yes for yes, and shake your head for no.
The donkey nods.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's a smart. Oh my god, this is exciting. I'm excited. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet.
I'm assuming that it knows common because he said that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh my god. Alright, so I lost continues in common. So would you like to travel with us?
A nod.
Okay. Okay, so if you don't mind, we found this pretty cool chariot thing. And we were wondering if, you would be okay being strapped on to said
The donkey
chariot.
begins what seems to be a very weird sort of dance, almost a jig on the spot, and he's nodding furiously.
Okay. This donkey has like some sort of kink. I think it's
Are you actually a donkey?
He nods.
Okay. Smart donkey. Look at you go.
It has a higher intelligence than Losk.
Has a higher intelligence than me too, probably.
The donkey
Right,
appears very
alright.
happy and excited at the idea of this war chariot.
Okay,
Okay.
well, tell him
We'll
it's
be
gonna
right
take us a
back.
second.
Yeah, we'll be right back.
Mhm.
All right, and then
Oh.
we go back into.
At this point, he starts
shop.
brushing his head up against Argo's chest.
I'll give him a little scratch on the head.
Makes a contented noise as the rest of the party re-enter Grady Combs's shop. And have you come to a decision?
Donkey. Yes, we have. We would like that chariot.
And would you like to purchase it, or would you like perhaps
Well-
to trade for a favor?
Yeah, what did you have in mind?
He sighs. There is a lady at the Midnight Mask. That is the brothel in town. Her name is Velio. I have once or twice paid for her services, but
Mm-hmm.
it is fair to say I have fallen deeply in love with her, and more fool the man that falls in love with a whore, but I would very much like you to take a gift to her for me, and if you could perhaps persuade her to come and speak to me. Man to woman, so to speak. Any persuasion that might assist in my professing of love to Velia would be most appreciated.
I'm sorry to interrupt your heartwarming request, but could you spell her name for me?
Yeah, I'll put it Velya.
Okay.
Doable. We'll be back soon.
Wonderful. Would you like me to perhaps harness the donkey in here, so that I assume visiting the brothel with the donkey may cause some distractions?
Sure.
Wonderful. Bring him in. Bring
you
him in.
should be. Well, you should be aware of a few things first.
I sold the donkey to Bryce. I'm perfect.
Oh, okay.
I'm perfectly aware of its most strange nature.
Well,
Did
then.
you pay him 5 copper shards to get rid of it?
No, I did not. I sold it to him for 2 rubles.
Wow.
It's fair to say that Carrot was a little better behaved here than he was at Bryce. See, the problem with Bryson is he only understands one manner of dealing with a beast, and that is force and cooperation. Sometimes it is the human that must cooperate with the animal.
Fair enough. He's all yours for the next hour or so.
As Argo brings Carrot in, Carrot sort of skips about and leaps up towards Greedy, and Greedy sort of grabs him in what is a human-to-donkey hug almost around the neck. And the two seem to have a mutual understanding and relationship.
I can love this donkey so much. I don't know what to do. All right, let's go to the brothel.
To the brothel. It is now 3 p.m. It is fair to say that they will not be open for business, but they will be open.
On in.
Come on, Matt, cooperate. Can we get you to the Yeah, we can. So as you depart and head away to the side of town where you know the brothel to be, it is just opposite the Slink's Paradise. You look upon a building with gilded roses outside, made of some sort of iron and paint. The Midnight Mask, is written across the top. And it looks to be a fairly posh establishment in a very seedy part of town.
Classy joint. All right. Yes, we are looking for name.
Are you headed in?
Oh well, I thought we said we were heading in.
Oh,
right?
sorry, I missed that bit. So as the party
Okay.
enters, you are greeted by a very large man, sort of not human, but you'd be hard-pressed to know his exact race. And he nods to you, and he holds his arm out. And a beautiful elder lady, she appears to be in her 60s, and comes over to you. Why? Good afternoon. Welcome on in. We are not yet open for the later business, but can I get you a drink? Dolph here is offering to take your coats, if you will.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Well, we actually have some business that we'd like to attend to. If that's not
Wonderful.
much
Well,
trouble.
business must be taken over wine. Perhaps if you'd like to come with me, and she gestures towards a small seating area.
Well,
Yeah,
it's
trying to
friendly
get locked
business.
drunk. With the amount of wine he's being fed.
She places a decanter on the table, and Duff, the large gentleman, who comes over and nods silently at each of you and lays out 7 glasses. And as you all sit, the lady opposite you gestures towards a small girl in the corner who shyly comes forth and sits just next to Warren. Oh shit, sorry. Perhaps a little too close. And she partakes in the 7th glass of wine, and she appears to merely be an adornment to the table. And the lady sort of nods towards you, and she says, "Well, I don't think we've made our acquaintance before. Pleasure to meet you. May I take your names?"
I'm just gonna give her the name Losk.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll say do they seem like seedy gays? Yeah, I'll say Rosalind. Yeah.
Rosalind Sachs.
Oh well.
Your reputation
Just the
precedes you.
same.
Pleasure to have you. A pleasure to have you. Now, who might you be? And she looks at Tylen. Tylen, are you present?
Hello?
She said, "And who might you be?" And she's looking straight at you.
Nobody.
Well, not everybody here prefers to go by name. I myself am Julie. This here is, shit, what is her name? Sorry, I've just realised that her name is not present with the rest. Oh, okay, yes it is. Sorry. This is Phoebe here. She is in training and is learning to be, we call them an accompaniment. Somebody who is a little more knowledgeable in the arts of conversation and good entertainment.
Sorry, could you write their names down?
Phoebe and Julie. They're quite
okay.
they're quite English names, so you should be
Julie.
alright.
The first one I didn't catch.
She sort of puts her arm wide in gesture and says, "And what business did you have in mind?"
Well, we were looking for somebody, but not for that. But kind of for that, but not really.
One of my girls? One of my boys?
Yes. One of your girls, I believe.
Oh, wonderful. And who might that be?
What was the name?
Velia.
Velia.
Velia?
Velia! Ah.
Yes, we'd like to have a bit of chat with her.
Oh, wonderful. Well, you'll find Velia in her room. It's probably best to speak to her there. It's her place of comfort. You may wish to knock, or you may find her in a state of undress. She tends to sleep the majority of the day away, a popular girl. As you head up the stairs, take a right and it's the second door on your left. Are all of you progressing upstairs, or would some of you like to perhaps remain, converse?
I would like to stay, actually.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'll head up.
Okay, who's going with Rosalind?
I'll go up.
I'll stay downstairs.
And Defender.
I guess I'll stay downstairs.
Okay. As Defender and Warren remain behind, she sort of, Judy sort of makes a tiny little gesture with her hand, sort of like this, and two more girls come forth, and they replace your companions' seats, and one begins playing the lute very gently, and the other one stares deeply into Warren's eyes, and, why, fine specimen, I haven't seen you here before, what's your name?
My name is Strix.
Pleasure to meet you, Strix. I'm Lily, and this here is my sister, Olivia. It's lovely to make your acquaintance. And at this point, Julie sort of is motioning towards the girls in various ways, but very subtly. It appears that you are being used as a training exercise. We will resume with Tyler and Rosalind as you head up the stairs. You pass two very ornate doors, one on your left and one on your right, and the second door on your left is where you were instructed to meet Velia.
Okay, I'll give her a knock, knock, knock.
Coming! And she sort of, you hear some scrambling in, and she, sort of a tired girl opens the door. She's a homely girl, human, perhaps in her late 30s, a little rounded, curvaceous, with lustrous dark brown hair all down one side of her head, and a very elegant flowery tattoo on the left-hand side of her neck. And she says,
Ooh.
"Oh, well, this is an early call. What can I do for you?"
Oh, pleasure to meet you. My name is Rosalind, and I want to speak to you about somebody.
I thought
so
this conversation may be coming. Please tell me, what were their names? What was their name?
Oh God, it's like a quiz.
Greeley.
This
Sorry,
is
what was that?
like-
Greeley.
Huh.
And you were also
Greeley.
given a bunch of flowers to give to her.
Really? The flowers.
Oh, wonderful. I've been waiting for this day for so long. Is he interested?
So cute.
Very.
You can say that.
Please, you must excuse me for a moment. And she dashes across the hallway and starts rapping on a door really loudly. And a young elven male comes forth, and she just leaps into his arms. He's sort of got a vague pair of shorts on and nothing else. And she starts kissing him all over the cheek, and she goes, Greely's called, and you can see like her mind is lit up, and she turns to you and she says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Was there anything else?"
What?
Can we have
Just
an
out of curiosity.
explanation?
Just out of curiosity, what do you think he's calling about?
Well, the man appears to have been smitten for many months, but he doesn't really have the money to visit very often, and when he does, he's so dear and so sweet, and then he stares at me with these moon eyes, and I've been waiting for him to profess his love for so long, and he's never had the gumption, and, well, it's improper of me, as being given my work, to show any favoritism, but
Oh, cute.
I've loved him for so long.
So,
Oh, that is
Oh.
wonderful. I'm not gonna say what he was going to say, but I think if you went over to him, you'd be
Oh,
very,
really?
very happy. Mm-hmm.
She turns to
Yeah.
her male elven partner and she says, "I must get dressed, help! And this guy sort of slowly saunters across into her room, and they begin to sort of play with wardrobes. It's fair to say that they are completely ignoring you both.
Do you want us to wait for you? Or...
No. I'll go to Greeley. As soon as I must dress, I must watch, I need scent, and this sort of continues, and again, she seems to have forgotten you're present.
we'll wait for you. We'll wait here,
The
don't
elven
worry.
gentleman turns around and says, "You might be waiting a while. She's not the quickest to get ready. Perhaps you might convey to Greeley that she's on her way."
Will do. And I'm very happy for the two of them.
Mac, what?
Yeah, we're heading down, I suppose.
You don't have any other things you might wish to know in the
Did we?
Oh, actually,
I
I wanted to.
Okay, so
There's
we'll
a reason
resume.
why I stayed
We'll
up.
resume with Losk and Argo and Meniot and Strix and Defender downstairs. I've just switched the names in my head there. You are sitting with the wonderful Julie and her 3 girls.
Such beautiful names to match such beautiful faces. I just
one of the girls
recently-
titters. Oh, why, thank you.
I just recently met with Galdor, and I heard that he frequents this place. Do you
Ah.
by chance know who
Yes.
his favorite girls are? I'm quite interested myself.
I think you might have missed Galdor's true reason for visiting.
Oh?
I'm assuming the lady in question you wish to speak to is Alice. She's his sister.
Ah.
Disgusting.
No. He visits her on the daily. Galdor is a man of small magics, and he believes in keeping his sister safe. He visits daily to assist with this. Safe from more than one thing, if you would, not just... Some men can get a little overexcited, but also it wouldn't do for our girls to become pregnant, and as a service to us all, he assists with that with all of our girls.
What? Do you know by chance what magic he uses?
Hey, I can't say that I do. I know he's a mage or wizard of some sort, but I'm not particularly schooled in the arts. I mean, I have an allusion or two to my name, but that is about it. This is Julie speaking.
Sorry, what was the sister's name again?
Alice.
Alice. May I ask why a nobleman's sister is doing such work when he seems to be sitting in his ivory tower?
Galdor is not born into the House of the Embercrests. It's a rumor he keeps very quiet. His sister is not known to the Embercrests. They think him very fond of a particular girl here at the brothel. But it's safe to say nothing nefarious is going on behind Alice's door. His mother and father were born into the poorer areas, and he was adopted for his magical talents into the Embercrest family many, many years ago. It is kept fairly quiet about the town.
That's unfortunate.
He
Well,
is
that might be
known
right this time.
occasionally to visit somebody in particular, but it is
Who
not a
might
girl.
that be?
Well,
Oh?
yes. Yalanor is an elven male. He is quite beautiful, if I say so myself. And it is he that takes the young Galdor's interest, but again, this is somewhat confidential, although I have taken a bit of a liking to you.
You see, compliments work, guys. Hold on, sorry, I'm writing this down. So, do the Magus, or I guess, yeah, the Magus Arcane. So, do they take in anyone who may have some magical prowess to them?
The Magus Arcane. Hey, you must apply, and a rigorous initiation is part of the initiation. It's fair to say Galdor got in only by virtue of having the Embercrest name to his name. He's a very minor player there. So the explanation is that Galdor was adopted into the Embercrest family for his magical ability, and they got him into the Magus Arcane.
Got it.
The elven men.
I think perhaps we may leave the brothel before naming that particular character.
Okay.
I'm
Well,
sure
that's
Anna would
my
take it in
business.
jest, but alas. And is your business concluded? Wonderful, and I believe those are your friends coming down the stairs. Ah, the gentleman in question, Yalanor. This fine gent here and his friends were asking about your relationship with Galdor. How do you find the gentleman? And the elf, who was previously very in a state of undress, who was assisting with Velia's dressing, sort of smiles, and Galdor's not the most gentle of lovers, nor the most patient, but when he comes, he pays well. He likes to talk politics upon the pillow. Not my favorite interaction, but a lot of people do.
Can I study him? Like, observe how he looks?
He's stunningly beautiful, with sort of blonde hair wispy around his face and the finest of green eyes. His elven ears are present, but delicate and not particularly overly pointy. He has a small athletic figure, and you've seen him down to his shorts, and has a very fine body, sort of engenders everything you would expect of a masculine patron. He's possibly a little bit on the feminine side, but
So like Losk.
graceful.
Well, did we have anything?
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
How tall is he?
5'6".
He's 2 inches shorter than me. Okay, that's all I needed.
Well, if that concludes our business, it's wonderful to meet you all. Perhaps sometime you may come by for a more social visit. And one
Think about it.
the girl, Olive, bats her eyelashes at Warren and says, "It will be wonderful to see you again."
Don't get your hopes up. And I'll walk out the brothel.
Yep.
Sorry about him.
That's all right. Each to their own. Each to their own.
All right. Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. And head out.
Okay. I'm assuming you are returning with haste to Greedy Coombs' shop.
Mm-hmm.
I know we're supposed to be evil, but I feel bad for killing Gondor now.
What do you mean?
Because he does a good deed with his sister.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Just brush it off. It'll be fine.
Just kill the sister as well. No one's left behind.
As you come into Greeny's room, he's sat on the floor with the donkey sat next to him, and he's sort of scratching behind the donkey's ears. Carrot appears very content. Carrot looks up at you all, and sort of that smile appears, the happy donkey. And he, a little bit of smoke again puffs out his nose.
Yeah. Well, we alert him of the news. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so excited. I must close the store for the day and get ready. Out the back you'll find the chariot. Allow me to take you there. And he sort of guides Carrot to the harness. And he sort of holds the harness out for Carrot to walk into. Instead of putting it directly on the donkey.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "Well, I do hope you have a wonderful time, and perhaps I should show you this." And as he taps this button that you'd previously seen, not only does the chariot shrink, but Carrot shrinks too.
Oh my god!
And then he presses it again, and Carrot sort of looks around, very pleased with himself.
Carrot, you're okay with that, right?
You get a nod. A very big nod.
Very cool. I'm so excited.
Okay. As you proceed out the back, it's fair to say that your chariot awaits.
Dude, go for a ride in the chariot, right?
Actually, well, we shrink too if we get into the chariot.
No.
Oh my god.
No, I will tell you that for free.
Well, it would have been really cool.
So if I'm chained up instead of Carrot, will I shrink?
No. Humanoids are not shrinkable by this device, unfortunately. But that does prove to you that the donkey is not a human in any way.
Okay.
That
I
helps.
think it worked out.
Well,
You never know.
I think we thought it was a dragon, to be honest.
I wish it was a dragon, but no.
You can make it a dragon.
Nope. It's Carrot's lore is set in stone.
Okay. Well, we'll discover more about that along the way.
See a stone golem?
What? No. Dear me. Okay. Yeah, you have concluded your donkey business, and you received 5 kopecks. That is 1 silver each. On D&D Beyond.
Oh.
Did we have? We had lots of other stuff to do, right? Let's take a donkey ride over to the next piece of business.
Okay, as who is sitting behind the reins?
Oh gosh.
Shall I captain this ship?
As you sit behind the reins, you see the standard 2 reins in front of you to hold, which guide the donkey left and right, and a strange lever in the center, sort of tied to a third one, which is on the back of the donkey's neck, and it appears to move forwards and backwards.
I will play with the lever, see what it does, I guess.
Okay, as you put it towards you, Carrot rises into the air, and so does your chariot.
Oh.
It is moving very slowly, as this is a levitation, not a flight directly, but it is capable of some movement. You are gliding glacially through the air. It's fair to say you've also got the attention of the entire fucking town right now.
I will land the team.
Excellent
say-
decision.
That's good to know.
Okay. Where were you headed?
It's a good question. Where were we headed, team?
Well,
It is currently about 5 p.m.
we got
We
some
should
time before our
probably go-
Lord killing business.
Should probably go to that merchant and pick up the potion that we were get as a
Oh,
reward.
that's true. We should do that.
This is
yeah,
only
we'll
2
go do
doors
that.
down. Okay. At this point, you're beginning to realize that each building has a small yard for you to picket your chariot, should you wish. Of course, you could also just minimize it and carry it. The use of a personal, portable war chariot. So you arrive outside the shop,
Very cool.
and something strange is going on inside. You're not quite sure what, but you hear raised voices and some strange, sort of almost explosive noises.
Oh, is it going to be dangerous? Can I do like an inside check on that or something? If this is a dangerous situation?
You can't see through a wooden door with an inside check.
Danger sense.
Your spidey sense
Can
is
I use my spidey sense?
neither tingling nor not. You may perhaps like to use a window in a more traditional sense.
Sure. Yeah,
Okay.
we've gone through the window. Yeah.
As you look in, there is a young female having what appears to be a sort of confrontation with
Vacation.
your with the shopkeeper that you know well, Athelian.
Okay.
What is she wearing?
Wait, sorry. You are potioning, is that correct? Sorry, the guy's name is Malagath, not Athelian.
Malgath is
Yes.
having a confrontation with a woman that we know.
You do not know her.
Okay. All right. Okay.
All right, that's all I needed to know.
Okay. Well, I guess we should. I mean, do we interrupt on this? It seems a little impersonal.
It's up to you. His store is still open for business.
Yeah, let's just
Yeah.
walk right on in.
Bust
Their
right on
fault
in.
for arguing in business time.
Okay, as you
True.
come in, you see a small explosion at the edge of the counter. One of the bubbling flasks goes up in sort of an explosion, and sort of rather disheveled-looking young girl turns to you and, "Oh, I am sorry." And Malagath turns to you and says, "This is my daughter, Anna. She's a bit of a handful,
Okay.
but she helps in the shop occasionally. She's currently initiated at the Mage's Arcane." And she sort of bows. A pleasure to meet you. A pleasure to meet you. We were just
So you're a
Pleasure's
happy
ours.
family.
we were just discussing the values of learning certain arts of magic, to which I would like to persuade Anna away from, but she's not the easiest girl to steer. She turns
well,
around and
I'm
begins to
just-
say, "Well, I don't know why you'd be," and the argument is beginning to resume, and he sort of coughs.
Well,
She goes
I'm
quiet.
just here for. I'm just here for the potion.
Ah, yes, Hagatha did come by. Yes, and a small reward with it, and he hands you a potion of asp's venom, and 100 rubles.
Ooh, lovely. Okay. Breaking that up, yeah. How does it break up?
20.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Okay.
thank you so much for your assistance. I appreciate it.
Could you let me just like send me a thing about what what's the
It's a poison of
What
double
the-
strength.
potion of double
A
strength?
poison
Okay.
of double strength.
Sorry, that's what
Yeah,
I mean. Yeah,
yeah.
poison of double strength. Very, very cool. Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do for you?
Oh, I don't think so. Did you?
Wonderful.
Actually, I have a question. That
Yes.
kind of steps up.
What can I do for you, Mars?
Have you seen someone? She's gonna describe Engor. He's about this tall, big beard.
I can't say I
dwarven
have,
fella.
but I've heard rumor from the tavern that somebody challenged the champion recently. They won.
What's a champion?
So in every tavern there is a champion who you can engage in either an arm wrestling match or a general fight. The champion of the one-armed knight is Gorm, a half-orc with low intelligence but large fists.
Tavern, huh?
Yes.
Got it. Good to know. Thank you.
Anything else?
Very cool.
Shh. Sorry.
I was just doing some inventory.
I seem to have been
management. My
attacked.
apologies.
I think we're done here, unless anybody
think
wants to buy something.
Good.
Just picking up something. Didn't mean to interrupt whatever it was that you guys were in. So. I think I should think about seeing like a family therapist or something.
Sorry, this is very off topic and I should have asked earlier. But that elven dude, what was his clothing like?
It would depend on the evening. When you saw him, he was dressed in shorts the first time, and the second time in very plain travelling gear, but it's clear he was about to go out shopping as opposed to
Alright.
actually remaining in the store. In the brothel.
Okay.
Okay. What were some requests that we had that might give us some change, some money?
Shit.
You had the bounties. You also were offered 1,000 rubles for a black sapphire, which Cray
That's
has.
right. Have we talked to Cray?
You have spoken to
Yes.
Cray, but you have not spoken to him since you completed his quest.
Oh, we should go talk to Cray then.
Sure.
Yeah, gang? Hop in the chariot. Let's go.
Idiot.
Get the silverware.
Yeah, I have it.
Yes. So you head down to his boat. And
Breathing fire the whole way there.
yes, and
And not actually.
it's fair to say it's going to be a little hard to get get Carrot to go onto a ship. He's not the most
Sure.
cooperative.
We leave him at the dock, I guess, or just shrink him. Yeah, we can shrink him.
Okay. Carrying your shrunken chariot, you approach the boat, and a small, young, deft halfling slips up and puts something in Tylan Cinderstorm's pocket. Tylan, if you'd like to reach into your pocket, please. You find two things. A scroll that you would know to be a scroll of teleportation. This scroll can take you to any place you have previously been. You can return to where you teleported from within the hour or remain in that location. You also were handed... Excuse me while I roll some dice. Scroll of teleportation. And
It just gives me spells.
you've been handed an interesting mantle. This is sort of a neck piece. That is all you know of it right now.
All right. Was that from the little boy who's like on Cray's team? who-
No, this was a random halfling crawling through town. He
Okay.
disappeared as fast as he appeared.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Would it matter what level?
Hmm?
The description.
What do you mean?
I can't pick a scroll of teleportation. I can only pick spell scrolls.
Oh, you don't need to
Spell-
necessarily hold on. You just need to make a note of this in yourself. Just add a custom item and put teleportation scroll. It is, yeah. You will, I'm sure, have many more within time. And as I said, a mantle.
Yeah, is this like, does the party know that this was slipped into Tyler's pocket?
No, this is Tylen's personal discovery. Of course, if Tylen was to wear the mantle, you would notice.
Fuck, we don't have a wizard.
I have +5 in Arcana.
Yeah, I
We have
guess.
Bard.
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning. I guess I'm gonna go up to Lusk and. Do you know what this is? Have any way to figure out what?
Lusk, make a Arcana check for me, please.
You have such bad rolls. It's a 7.
Even so, this is right up your street. I think you'd know what this is. This is a mantle of ore. As one wears it and they enter through any room, a large flock of doves fly through the doorway from behind you. A fanfare plays, and an angelic chorus can be heard singing in verse. The larger the room, the more impressive the effect. Created for a noble who wished to make a good impression at a party.
Noble.
It has the unfortunate effect of activating every time one enters a room. Every room. This fact was discovered by a scoundrel who robbed the original owner and tried, failing, to escape. This item has immediately attuned itself to Tylen and does not want to be possessed by anyone else.
Cats and doves. Cats and doves.
That sounds cursed. Good luck.
I just.
It doesn't take up an attunement slot. It's only usable by you.
Are we at the
You're at Cray's
ocean
ship.
still?
Yes.
Crazy shit? Okay, cool. I'm gonna throw that shit in the fucking ocean.
You throw it in the ocean and you feel a strange presence in your pocket.
No.
James,
That's
how can I be a rogue
definitely
with this
cursed.
thing?
You don't have to wear it. It only activates when worn. You can just leave it in your pocket or your
okay.
bag of holding.
You
just can't get rid of it.
Pocket.
Okay, I'm fine with having it as long as
No.
the rogue isn't allowed to be a fucking rogue anymore.
Can you imagine if I just forced you every time you entered a room to be trumpeted?
It's just like, no, I'm not keeping this thing. I'm a fucking rogue. What?
Beautiful. Okay. You are at the entrance to Cray's ship, and the young boy is sat. Was he Ducky McDuck? Yes, Ducky McDuck, the ship's boy, is sitting on the edge of the ship
Wait,
and
you know
looking
that.
down at you.
Nice to see you again, Ducky McDuck.
Pleasure.
Have we entered Cray's room yet?
No. You're at the bottom of the.
It's
gangway.
fanfare time.
Okay.
I'm assuming you're wearing the mantle. As the he gestures you up the gangway towards the room, and towards the captain's area where you had been before.
I would like to step into the room with just a foot as Lusk steps into the room. But as
Lusk appears, and behind Lusk is a flock of doves, an angelic chorus singing in verse, and a fanfare playing. Cray looks up, he goes, "What the fuck?"
This is like the Meet the Medic from TF2.
He looks around and he's just like, "Was that fucking necessary?"
Of course.
So sorry about them, Cray. Darling.
You look to the right, and a bloodied and battered young man is sort of cramped in the corner. He was clearly in the middle of torturing a peasant as you entered. He looks up and he goes, "Get that business concluded."
Oh, fuck.
I would
yes.
like to... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, go ahead. No, you first.
Oh. No, I just want to toss Cray the fork, but not in like a... I'm gonna try and play darts with him. No,
Yeah,
it's
no.
just like a friendly little toss.
He takes it and he looks at it and he goes, "Now this I can make use of. I like you guys." And he tosses you a bag of, how many rubles was it? I think it's 1,000 rubles.
He said
Yeah,
1,000?
it was...
Yes.
He said 1,000.
He tosses you 1,000 rubles and he says, "Well, if you can get that, there's something else. Fancy
200 each?
another sneaky trip?"
Yeah, 200 each. Yeah,
Yes.
I'm down.
Okay. Well, one from each, I think. The Raynham's Manor. You can get in. There's a wonderful cloak there. You may be interested in the cloak. Its nature is to protect its owner. By all means, keep the cloak. I'm just letting you know it's present. You'll probably find it in the wife's room. Also, speaking of the wife's room, this is the Raynham's manor.
Raylums.
Raynham. Rainham. Says also, there is
spell name, right?
There is a shield upon which the crest of the family is. It lies in the very vestibule, the entrance hallway. It's on a wall, so I'm told. So it'd fetch me a pretty penny. If you can get it, 2,500 rubles. And as I said, if you can get hold of the cloak, keep it for yourself.
We're gone. Okay. That's at the... Is that at the... Sorry, where is
Raynham Manor. It's one south of the Embercrest Manor.
That's when we were killing somebody, right? I don't say that out loud. I'm just... just
Embercrest is who we're killing. He says, not in game.
But not at the manor.
Yeah, true. Just in general.
Yeah, so if you bring up your Carthon map, you will see the... I've just reposted it to chat. You will see the various manors. And he would like you to get a shield that is on the wall with a crest upon it. And he tells you that there is a wonderful cloak that the lady owns, should you wish to make the theft.
Love that cloak.
So who are these people? Are they just noblemen, or are they part of...
they're one of the 4 large noble families.
So just noble, no Magus Arcane stuff.
Some of them will be affiliated with the Magus Arcane, some with the Furion Guard, some even with the Dawn Guard. The nobles all have their own affiliations, but as a home, they do not show patronage to any particular faction.
Okay.
All right.
Did you also visit the Drow? The Drow, the vampires?
Oh, I
Yes,
don't think
we
have.
did.
Oh, I wasn't there. Sorry.
Yes, you did. Fantastic. And he's already given you the money in advance. Much appreciated that. I was contacted recently by my contact. They will come in very useful. I most appreciate it. Well, if there's nothing else, do you think you could leave with a little less noise than you came in with?
I'll
No.
think about it.
Good.
Come on, it was pretty funny.
See you, Craig.
Yes.
Fine,
see
I'll
ya.
take the man.
Oh, Roz! You hear about your ship?
Don't get me started.
Cole Farrick! Be lucky if you got a ship left by the time he's done with it.
If he doesn't, I'll kill him twice.
Yeah, me too. Well, if you want to handle that mission, I owe Farrick a favor of the darker kind, if you would. A dagger to the throat would suit me very well.
I think I will take you up on that.
I look forward to it. We won't be sailing out for another couple of weeks. Business to attend to, as you know, but
Of course.
I look forward to it. Sorry, Lavi, you were saying?
Oh no, I was just gonna ask if he knew where to find him, but
You've been directed towards a small island that he's made his own.
yeah.
Chocolate Island?
Just a small island. No details were given.
What we do is we kill him and then we start a chocolate factory there.
Yes, I love it.
So as you
I
alight
don't know
from
what
his
this
boat,
chocolate is, but I love it.
as you alight from his boat and return to the shore, a little less fanfare than you entered with. Yeah, there you are. It's now about 6:30 in the evening.
Regret this item.
In the evening. That's not late enough to do killing, but... Or really thieving, also.
Does anyone want anything
what time is it?
enchanted?
6:30 p.m.
We could go talk to or attempt
Talk to who?
the necromancer, which is Arcana.
At the Major Arcane.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Or attempt to.
Lost have a wine date with the recruiter in like half an hour or something.
The enchantress.
Oh,
Does anybody
Well-
want anything enchanted?
I would like a mask of many faces if you can get me that.
We'll see. And an enchanted diamond pickaxe, anyone?
I don't know. It depends how much it would be, but it'd be rad to get a rapier just to get a +1 or something like that. Or really, I want more armor class. Would be rad. But
I'd be pretty happy with the
that's
+1.
probably pretty expensive. So
Well, the prices are surprising. Like, it's expensive, but we do have the means to get our hands on the money.
all right, okay.
So why don't you come along? Let's
Yeah,
go.
I'll come along. I'll come along.
As you, Lusk, arrive at the door of Kaelin, who is by the Magus Arcane, you said you're going with Rosalind.
Mm-hmm.
She looks slightly disappointed at first, but then suddenly a little interested. She looks to you and she says, "Oh, and who's your friend?"
I'm terribly sorry. I know this is incredibly rude, but this is my friend, and he gestures to Rosalind to introduce herself.
Rosalind Sachs.
Perhaps I didn't make myself clear in my intentions. You've of course come out of interest in your shift weave. Is that correct? Is it out of your shift weave? Of course, if you have the 100 rubles or perhaps the 200 rubles, I will be able to make another set of progress. I have bought the first set of components in advance, and as you see, and she sort of shows you the start of the shift weave. However, I had a slightly more social visit in mind. If that is perhaps not your interest, perhaps I'm. She looks very embarrassed and sort of
No, I
sheepishly
absolutely
smiles.
apologize. I pretend I'm not even here, and I'll
As you look through the door, a very sort of fine dinner is laid out with 2 glasses of wine and candlelight and.
Yeah, I'll walk out.
Bye.
Then I will stealth.
To the window?
Well,
Don't leave me alone.
no, I'm going to wait until they go into the dining room, and when they do, I'm going to stealth. I'm going to sneaky back in.
Okay. What ensues is an evening of fine conversation and delicate laughter. She is clearly interested in Lusk as a person and as a bard as well, and speaks a little bit of her magic and her enchanting ability and how she longs to be of more use in direct battle, but she understands her role. She also talks of the Magus Arcane and how her initiation was very difficult, but she has passed that and is now a fully fledged member of the Magus Arcane. Is there anything you would wish to ask her over dinner?
First of all, I would like to profusely apologize, as, I thought it was just going to be business, and,
Why, of course, not a problem, not a problem. I understand that perhaps I wasn't clear in my intentions and she looks embarrassed.
Alright, I'm gonna hand her the 200 rubles.
Okay. So she tells you that by the end of the week, if you can garner the rest of the money, she will have your shift weave ready.
Alright, do you by chance know, how much it'll be?
700.
By the end. Okay. In total?
In total.
Okay. Yeah, that's doable.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. And then she continues with her sort of light flirting, and telling you of the Magus Arcane. If you wish to ask any questions of the Magus Arcane in general, this is your moment. If not, then we will sort of convene at the end of the meal.
Yeah, I really do not have any questions.
Apologies, 2 seconds.
What?
Now's your chance to think of questions.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay, sorry, I'm back.
But, what was the initiation like? Is it the same for everyone, or?
I believe so. It's rough. It's rigorous. But if you have contacts, then your initiation can be sped up. A fully fledged member of the Magus Arcane may take you as a personal apprentice, and that can take anywhere between 2 weeks and 20 years.
Okay, when you say it's rigorous, do you mean they want like a 500-page essay about how...
There is training, there is tutoring, there are exams, lessons, It's fair to say that it saddens me to reveal the corruption from the inside, but it depends entirely on your social standing how quickly you progress, unless you are truly an individually talented mage.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not even a maid.
No, but there is a bardic college. Perhaps you should speak to one of the bards there. You may find your progress a little eased. Drustin, who plays regularly at the tavern, is a fully fledged member of the Magus Arcane, and I would of course offer to take you as my own apprentice, but perhaps my art is a little not akin to your own. But Drustin is a wonderful man, and very gentle. A little flamboyant, if I may, but quite a talented bard.
Okay. Thank you. I'll speak to him.
Do you know how to get into the Magus Arcane, darling?
Well, I have met with the recruiter before.
I merely
That
meant the
gives me
door,
some
my darling.
The door?
Yes, to enter the Magus Arcane, you must be capable of meeting the magical requirements. She takes a wand from her pocket and she puts her fingers over her lips and says, "Don't tell anyone, but this'll give you entry." And she casts the wand upon the door using an activation word in a slightly strange language that you've not really heard before. And she says, "You can attune to it yourself and change the activation word, and what it releases is this," and then a 7-pointed star appears on the wall. You will have seen the Magus Arcane door has an exact replica of that illusion. And she says, "You just place this enchantment upon the door, and the entrance is available to you all." These wands are given to friends of the Magus Arcane, and a friend is what I'd love to call you.
Right.
Sounds like
Thank you for all of your help. I really do appreciate
Oh,
it.
darling, it was no problem. It was a pleasure, in fact.
Right. Yeah. I think that's all the questions that I had.
So what ensues is a lovely, luxurious meal, and then she sort of guides you out at sort of 9:30 in the evening.
okay. 9:30. Okay.
Okay, this is a particularly good moment to take a short break. It's a little early, but I think the party might need to address where they may be going next, and yeah, we'll take a short break and we'll return in 5. Welcome back. We resume with our party having just left Cray's ship. Well, I don't know where the party is actually. You are sort of hanging around somewhere, but Losk is outside Leovel's house. It is 9:30 in the evening.
Yeah, I pop up from wherever I was hiding.
Yeah, it's fair to say you made your exit shortly before Losk.
Sure. Was there anything cool in there that I could have nipped?
That was sort of very standard. You had a mantelpiece with a couple of fairly normal ornaments on them, a table with some glasses and a fruit bowl. You could perhaps had entered the kitchen where there was your basic kitchenware. Nothing particularly special.
I didn't take nothing in.
Okay.
I was just listening.
Where are you all headed?
Oh, well.
Brothel. It's sexy time.
Sexy time at the brothel.
You head towards the Midnight Mask. As you are approaching, you're a short walk away.
Meet back up with the gang? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just assuming the whole party's there.
Okay. So we have our plan. So now it's killing time.
You're currently heading
Right.
around the corner. It's 10 p.m.
Okay. Well, unless anybody has any objections, I think the plan is to hide out and wait.
Where would you like to wait?
Yep, sounds about good.
Yeah,
Okay,
what if he walks around the corner, but it's a
yeah.
completely different corner?
Where are some good hiding spots?
Between
around?
Slink's Paradise and the building next to it, you would be able to get a clear view of the exit from the Brotherland entrance.
Okay, sure. And that's a good and they wouldn't be able to see.
No,
us
you're in
from
an
there.
alleyway, and as you reach said alleyway, you look over, and who should you see but Galdor, standing outside, smoking on a pipe.
I think this is Lusk's time.
Okay,
Are we luring him or are we just jumping him?
I
think it's
It's a
wanna
public
lure and
entrance.
then
This is a
jump
public
him.
entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should lure and then jump him.
Yeah.
Okay, so Lusk is gonna take off his hat and his jacket because he always wears his hat and his jacket. I feel like, that just screams Lusk.
Put it in the
gonna have-
chariot and shrink it.
Well, he's just gonna hand it to like one of you guys. He's also gonna take off his cravat because that is also extremely.
Yep.
Hand it to, I don't know, Mac or Rosalind, I guess. So he's down to a very plain dress shirt and his pants, which are they're just pants.
Yep.
I mean, nothing special about them.
You mean they're not special pants?
They don't disappear. They never disappear. They're always with him. But, he's going to then change his appearance. He's gonna keep his height. He's gonna turn into an elf. Long red hair. He's gonna keep his masculine features, but again, just like his true form, he does kind of lean on the more leans on the feminine side as well. And he's going to casually walk over to the brothel.
Okay, as you approach the brothel, Galdor is standing outside smoking his pipe. He seems to be swaying a little bit side to side. He looks up and he says, "Well, haven't seen you here before. Name's Galdor.
And
Can I help you?"
I could say the same for you. You seem to be quite a nice gentleman. What? Are you okay? You seem to be swaying a little bit.
The wine inside is very fine, very fine. But I'm okay. I should probably head home soon, but... Well, unless you had something else in mind? And he sort of raised his eyebrow at you.
Lask is going to be very uncomfortable, but he's going to try hide it. I mean, if you don't mind, I would love to take you out somewhere. Perhaps we could just have a little stroll around.
Make a persuasion check, please.
Okay, hold on, let me open up.
It's what you're made for.
Oh my
You can do it.
god! I have such lows. 13.
That'll do. He's very drunk and very
Okay.
tempted. He sort of takes you by the hand, and is willing to be led.
Yeah, I'll lead him over to the alleyway
Okay.
where
He nonchalantly wanders
alleyway.
through.
I've been holding my action to cast silence when I think he's out of line of sight of the public.
He enters into the alleyway. He is now out of line of sight.
I'll cast silence so
Yeah.
no one can make a noise.
He looks
And
about a bit
we're all
confused.
hidden, right?
He looks about a bit confused, yes. It's fair to say you are very well hidden.
Grapple. Okay, yeah, I jump out and freaking stab him, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Jump out and friggin' stab him. Roll to hit. With advantage, please.
Thank him.
I would like to point out that Lask would let go of his
good.
hand because he does
22.
not like physical touch.
Yeah. That hits.
Yeah. Okay.
Roll for damage.
And then that's gonna be 1d8 and 2d6 for a sneak attack.
And the poison?
Oh right, and the poison. That's
I believe
2d12.
I believe
oh my
it's,
god,
yeah,
it's
I
getting
believe
crazy.
it's 2d12, 2d6, and 1d...
1d8 and 2d6 plus 3.
Holy shit.
He's got enough.
Oh, not very good. Only 15. I rolled a couple of ones there.
He is...
Oh, well, plus 3, so 18.
He's knocked prone. He is clearly suffering from the effects of the poison. He looks confused and hurt.
Somebody else drinking.
Sorry, Tylen, you said?
My turn.
Yes, your turn.
Shitty.
You get advantage because he's prone, don't you?
That's an even shittier roll. I got a
Wow.
12.
12 hits.
12 hits?
Oh.
Yes.
He's a
That
mage
is-
after all.
As a mage squishy, yeah.
Well, he's drunk and prone, so that sort of helps you hit.
If he's prone, you get advantage, I guess.
He takes 14 damage.
Describe his demise.
I'm not allowed to?
Why?
Okay, fine. I'm gonna stab him in the throat and I'm gonna cut his head off.
Sure.
That's
Your
about
head
as
is mine.
detailed as I'll get.
A straight stab in the throat, and a decapitated gentleman lies at your feet.
Okay, no. Okay, gang. We have a
And then I'm
body to
gonna-
deal with.
And then I'm gonna put his body and the head in my bag of holding.
Yeah, I think that's fair. You can probably fit that in. And go with
I
it.
have to cut him up a few
Um,
more times.
Well, let's go
As
dump
you
his
are,
body
as
in
you
the
are
ocean.
picking up his body to put it in the bag of holding, you notice a chain around his neck, with a strange-looking symbol at the bottom.
He certainly wouldn't have a chain attached to his neck anymore.
No, I mean it was hanging around his neck. It's quite wide. It'd still hold on to the shoulders.
Do you know what that is?
Should I have dropped
The
sounds? we can talk now?
7-point star of the Magus Arcane is around the necklace.
Ah, I see. Okay, well,
Is anybody
task accomplished.
taking the necklace?
I'll take it since it sounds important.
Okay. As you take a hold of the necklace, you feel a strange tingling energy from within.
Excellent. That's
Drop
what I was
it.
looking for.
Oh god, spooky.
Do I get any
There's a tracking device on that shit.
inkling what this sensation is?
No, but it's getting more and more tingly and warmer.
Can I cast detect magic?
Yes.
Alright, I'm gonna cast that.
Maybe identify.
This is a communication device.
Oh, drop it. Get rid of it. Stab it. Break it. Dispel it. What's that?
Okay, I have an idea. In my best what's his name? Theobald impression.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to mutter some things about getting blood on my shirt.
Before you, all of a sudden, is a sort of bright flash of light. And there stands a mage. He is of elven descent. He's a little, he's quite broad-shouldered for an elf. He's a little overbearing, a little imperious. Looks down at you and he says, "Well, who are you?"
I'm but an elf.
Hmm.
At me? Only
all,
me.
All of you.
Okay.
Of
You the same question.
Rothel.
My name's Rialden. Perhaps you've heard of me?
No.
Have I?
No? Well, it is a shame as I detect some magical prowess amongst you. You haven't decided to enter into the Magus Arcane yet.
I think this is your deal.
Perhaps you should. Well, for those of you who haven't heard of me, my name is Rialden. I am the head of the Magus Arcane. And it is to me
The
that
head.
this connection, the device that you were previously holding in your hands, connects. I believe this one belonged to Galdar. Bit of an imbecile, if I say so myself. And a fairly large problem to the Magus Arcane.
I
Gotta be
just
an
picked
imbecile
it
to
up.
leave this on the ground.
Yeah, we just found this on the floor.
Yeah, we found it.
Make a deception check, please.
With
Rosalind.
advantage, because assisting?
No.
Because people are assisting me? Okay, that's fine. Oh, come on. Oh, really good, 25.
He nods and he says, "Well, that sounds like Galdar. Personally, I hope the man's taken a long walk off a short pier and drowned himself, but... Well, you didn't hear that from me. Alright, well, can I have the device back, please?" He holds his hand out.
Okay, let's give it back.
Yeah.
I will hand this image. Is it just an image?
It's just
Okay, I
a
guess
chain
I'll
with
hand him the thing.
a 7-point star on the end. He takes it and he turns back to you and he says, "It really would be a pleasure if those of you with magic intent came by the Magus Arcane sometime. We like to be aware of you all."
We did have business there with a necromancer.
The maestro himself,
Yeah.
Killian?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ah, wonderful. Killian is a true prodigy. Sorry. A wonderful man. Well, swing by. If you're in the Magus Arcane, can you get in? Are you aware of our entrance procedures?
Yes, we can get it.
Wonderful. then you won't be needing, well, perhaps just in case. And he hands you a wand, and you would notice, Lost, that this is identical to the one that you'd been handed by Kaelin earlier today.
Okay, well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
two,
take
that's
it, but I'll hand it over to Strix, because I believe he's the other most magical one.
Rialda nods and he says, we don't only require the magically trained to come by the Magus Arcane. There is plenty of business for those with less capabilities. Should you swing by the Magus Arcane, you can find me in my office. There is a picture of a red dragon upon the door, but anybody will be able to give you good directions. Pleasure to make your acquaintance, and let me see if I can track down Kaldar. And he sort of casts a spell, and he disappears in the same flash of bright light that he appeared in.
Alright, time to go to the pier.
Alright,
I'm gonna
let's
go.
get out.
Bye.
Where are you headed?
I'm running to the pier.
Okay.
Well, let's go to the tavern first, I think. And
I am
head.
already taking off to the pier.
I think Tyler is already at the pier.
I am fucking gone.
You stand at the end of
Well-
the pier. It is dark. There is almost nobody about. There is one particular ship's boy who is sitting throwing sort of crab shells into the water.
Actually,
Give me-
did Galdor, was he wearing anything besides the necklace, like maybe another
The standard
necktie?
traveler's clothes.
Okay.
No necktie. Just standard traveling clothes. Jerkin. Pair of traveler's trousers.
I would like walk into the water from
the boy out of here.
As you walk into the water, the boy sort of looks over. He looks a bit frightened and he scampers back towards his boat.
I'm gonna walk fairly to the water.
Yeah.
A little bit offshore. And then I'm gonna open the bag, take the body out, and put a bunch of rocks on top of it.
Okay. And the head, I assume.
Or keeping
Nope,
the
I'm
head.
keeping the head.
You're keeping the head. Okay, lovely.
Who wanted him dead again? Why are we doing this?
We have to give the guy the head.
Okay, fantastic. You've buried his body amongst the rocks.
Come back.
Okay. The party
Walk
are waiting
back
for you on
out the
shore.
water.
You're a little wet, but otherwise untroubled.
I'll take my clothing back from whoever I handed it to.
Good to see. Concerned that
there
I
you
just
go.
walked out of the water.
Yeah, there's nobody particularly near. You're all right.
I mean the party. Nothing concerning here.
We're gonna dump him in the ocean.
I did a little better than dumping him in the ocean. I buried his ass in the ocean.
You show such respect for the body of a noble.
Ah, see that? Didn't say I was gentle about it.
Yeah, if we're done here, I actually would like to head to the tavern.
Okay, is everybody
Oh,
else
let's
headed
go.
with? Wonderful.
Yep.
As you head to the tavern, ding. Congratulations. You have leveled up.
Yay!
Oh, sick.
You can probably save this to the end of the session if you wish to.
Sure,
if you
sure.
aren't holding on to D&D Beyond right now, but consider yourselves level 4. You're returning.
It took us 3 sessions.
You arrive at the tavern and it is lively, almost rambunctious. There is noise, there is dancing coming from within. There's plenty of sound. You all headed straight in.
Yep.
As you enter, you see a small troop of dwarves dancing upon the tables, in time to a jig set at a fast pace by the male bard that you saw in the corner before. You would be aware that his name is Drustin. To your far right sits the games master, who currently his table is empty, and other people in the tavern. Sort of the bar girl Iona is still wandering around handing out drinks, etc. There is a very frustrated-looking orc sitting at the bar, downing countless pints of ale. And Holgan, the bounty hunter, is gruffly sat there, arms over it, looking disgusted at the antics of the dwarves upon the table. And a halfling sits in the corner, just sort of drinking and observing the night.
Go about this.
I guess I'll approach the bard.
Okay, he sort of raises a finger very briefly to imply 1 second, and then continues to play. Where are the rest of you?
Well, who has the bag of holding?
Tylen.
Tylen. So Tylen and I should go over to the guy who told us to do this, right?
It's the
In
right
the-
tavern for that.
Other bar?
Is he there?
Oh. I thought this was the
No,
bounty
you
hunter.
need to
I'm
return
sorry.
to Slink's Paradise for the...
I'm sorry.
yeah,
My
it's not a bounty hunter quest.
Okay, sorry.
Okay. Perhaps you may want to get a drink, get us something to eat.
Yeah, I'll get a drink.
Okay. The barman is sort of Fletch Brewster is sort of very happy and very cheerful, and business is flying, so why would he not be? And he greets you, well, good evening, can I get you a drink? Can I get you a drink? No?
Drank so much today.
You're currently not with the party. You're with the bard, correct? So it's just the other
My
floor.
point still
sort of approach.
stands.
Okay. Yeah, he's looking over to Fender and Warren and Tylen. Any drinks?
Give me 2.
Sounds good to me. And he sort of
Wine, please.
thunks them on the table. Glass of wine. He looks at Tylen. Drink?
I don't drink.
Well, strange place to take
I don't
rest in the
really
evening.
do
What about
anything,
you? And he
but-
looks at Strix.
No thanks, I'm just here for the atmosphere, and I'll turn my back and look out into the tavern.
Wish people paid for atmosphere, he says to himself, and then he sort of holds his hand out, and you hand him some rubles that you keep it in a separate pocket, it's fair to say. So don't worry about deducting anything. At this point, the bard stops playing, and the dwarves sort of grab out you see one with a horn, one with a pipe, one with a pair of bagpipes, one with a sort of double-handed drum, and they sit sort of on the table and begin their own music of the jig, and the bard turns to you, Lusk, and says, well, good evening. What can I do for you?
Good evening. I quite like your style.
Why, thank you. A bard yourself?
Yes, I am, but not in the musical arts as
Ah.
one typically is.
Perhaps a gentleman of eloquence. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Are you enrolled at the college?
No, but I do plan on it. I was
wonderful.
hoping you could give me some insight.
Well, we've been looking for a new bard. Perhaps one with slightly... how do I put this? The group of us are usually steer away from politic, but recently we've needed somebody who might be able to keep their finger on the pulse, as one might say. Somebody who can listen out for a rumor and perhaps spread a couple. We like to keep up to date with our information, but most recently one of our bards sadly came to an untimely demise. Her own fault. She was also a dabbler in the alchemical arts, and, well, needless to say that when she blew up her alchemy lab, she did not survive the blast. But yes, if you are enrolling, do come by. You'll find the Bard's College within the Magus Arcade. I myself am looking for an apprentice.
Noted. Okay, I will be sure to stop by.
Wonderful, I didn't catch your name.
Losk.
Pleasure to meet you, Lusk. I'm Drustin. I will say
Pleasure to
that,
meet
a word of warning, the bards can be very rambunctious at times and a little overly friendly. Keep in reserve what you want to keep in reserve. They won't stop asking questions.
Noted.
Fen, make a make a perception check, actually.
Perception.
Yes,
7.
you don't got this.
You notice a lightening of weight on your right hip, but as you turn, you don't see why. Please subtract 100 rubles from your current
Is Fen
Oh
nearby?
my god, 100? Oh my god, who do I have to...
The halfling that you had noted on your way in is no longer sat at his seat.
Oh my...
And you look around,
That's
but you can't
happened!
see
Get
him.
him!
Did anybody notice any? No, okay, no.
You may have noticed that he's left the tavern, but you don't, or that he's no longer in his seat, but you certainly didn't see him approaching Defender.
Oh. Okay, well, I don't know anything about any of this at the moment, so never mind.
Well, if Fen doesn't notice, is she gonna keep drinking?
Cool. As you
Yeah,
are.
so I assume none of us could have known.
No, I mean, you may have
Anything.
noticed that he's left, but that is about it. Or that he's not in his seat. You certainly would have seen him coming up to Fen. He was quick as a flash, silent as the night.
I would like to strike up a conversation with anybody, with any of the tavern patrons.
Okay, so...
I didn't talk to the orc, so if you wanted to go and talk with... and go with me and talk to that
So-
guy.
Yeah. Or... Okay. I'm gonna strike up a conversation real quick with any of the tavern patrons. Can I pretend to be drunk?
Make a performance check.
Okay, hold on, let me pull up. It's so hard to lift my arm up to my mouse. Okay, not a shitty
heavy these days.
23.
Okay, yeah, you're pulling off a drunkard quite well.
Okay. I'm going to go up to some of the, just like a random ass table, and I'm gonna be like, "Did you hear? Theobald apparently has some sort of gambling problem. That's why he lives in the barracks, and that's why he had to join the Furian Guard to begin with."
A vicious rumor, one dwarf turns around. But I can see it in the guy. He's definitely hiding something. Nobody can be as pristine as he appears. Haven't seen him gambling in the tavern, though. Any idea where he gambles?
Nope, that's just what I heard, and then Losk is gonna fall to the floor in kind of like a drunken manner.
The dwarves pick you up and start sort of tossing you up into the air between them, singing, "What do we do with a drunken sailor?" And at this point you're feeling absolutely nauseous, but
Yes.
the music continues, and they begin to dance around. They now sort of prop you up, one arm on each dwarf, and begin dancing with you. The orc at the bar turns around and throws a tankard as hard as he can at one of the dwarves, and yells, "Keep it down!" And one of the dwarves sort of picks up a glass and lobs it back at the orc. Suddenly the dwarves have abandoned you, Lusk, and they are charging at the orc at the bar, who picks up one in each hand and hurls them at the back wall. A fight breaks out between them.
I would like to sneak off to the group so they don't notice me.
A slight girl stands upon the bar, and she sort of a thunderous boom comes in the middle of the tavern, and showers of sparks fall down upon everybody. And she's sort of yelling, "I will have order! Quiet down, no brawling tonight. Not got the time for that." This is a girl you've not seen before. She sort of jumps off the bar and sits down at the end of the bar and partakes in her glass of wine again. The orc looks a little sheepish and returns to the bar, where he's immediately handed another pint of ale, and the dwarves sort of sedately sit down and begin rolling some dice. You're forgotten in the chaos.
Yay.
It's now approximately 11 p.m.
Is this a good time to introduce ourselves to the Shadowville Games Master guy?
Is he in the corner?
Yeah, he's
again?
in the corner. There's nobody at his table. He's currently playing with some dice himself, but that's about it. You've been sort of pointed to him before, the Games Master. His name is Darius Vaughn. He's sort of a little shady looking, but slight gentleman human. And he's rolling dice very dexterously on the table.
I guess I'll
Should
walk
we
over
talk
and
to
take
him?
a seat.
Okay.
Guys, I actually have to go. I'm really sorry.
No, that's absolutely fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm glad I got to make it for
Okay.
however long that I did.
It's a pleasure.
And I'll be here the whole time next week. Sorry, everybody.
Rosalind's going to take to
Made
her
it for the
room.
donkey.
Yeah, Rosalind takes to her room. I'm going to bed for the night, guys.
Okay. Wonderful.
And I'll see you all next week. Bye.
Alright,
Bye.
bye.
Argo,
Bye.
as you sit down, Argo, the gentleman looks at you and says, "What's your game?"
Well, I like to go sit down with.
Okay. What's your game, lads?
I'll play anything.
Statement
It
we need.
seems like the odds are against us all.
That they are, brother, that they are. And he puts his hand on the table, and as he rolls the dice with his left hand, he slides something over to you.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay, in your hand is a small ring and a note saying, "At night." That's what it says.
That'll.
Wait, what does this say?
At night.
At night.
It is currently perceived as night time.
Yeah.
So it's fair to say that it means sort
I'll
of
pick up
only at
the
night.
ring,
Mhm.
assuming it's like the communication ring that Cray had. Could be wrong.
It tingles with a magic sense. Would you like to make an Arcana check for me, please?
Sure. 19.
This is less of a communication device and more of a sort of homing beacon. It pulses with a regular magical sort of note. It's obviously specifically attuned to somebody that isn't you, but suffice to say that its location is being tracked.
Okay. I'll just casually get up and walk away from this guy.
Okay. He nods to you. Continues to roll his dice. He looks down at Tylen. And he
I'd
just
like
says,
to
"You
try
your
and,
friend?"
I'd like to try and say thieves can't
Mm-hmm.
now or later.
Anytime, just in private.
Okay then, and then I leave.
Okay, leave where?
So after Strix.
Okay, where are you guys headed?
Should we get everyone?
Let's have a group
Ourselves?
huddle and see if anything comes from the ring.
Okay, and where would you like to retreat to your rooms, I assume?
Yeah, I think so.
Is the rumor effectively going around?
You're not sure. You certainly haven't heard it repeated in your vicinity.
Alright.
But that is not to say that it isn't taken hold, it's merely that they all heard it, so they don't need to tell each other.
Right. Okay.
Returning to the rooms?
Yeah.
Okay. As you enter your room, out of the wall sort of forms a being, and it comes forth. It portrays a little like an elf, but the skin is sort of a dark shade of purple. And sort of, you see sort of flickering features on the face, and then suddenly standing before you is a very plain-looking, normal human male, dark brown hair, and a mask over his face. And he says, "You contacted."
Yeah.
And who might you be?
We've been pointed in your direction from several people. My name is Strix.
Pointed, you say? By one of us?
One of you, one of someone else.
One of us?
You're not a very well kept secret in town, it seems.
We don't aim to be. Only from the people that could stop us. Well, without further ado, my name is Neandamus. And yours?
I'm Taiwan.
Pleasure. And you?
Lusk.
And the other two?
New Fender.
And
Is
you who
Rosalind sleeping in the room?
Yes, and you who contacted? He's looking at you.
My
Warren.
name is Strix.
Hmm.
The one sleeping in the bed is Rosalind.
Are you looking to make business?
Yeah.
We're not sure what we're looking for with you guys. Information, probably, first.
He who seeks should bring a tithe. Do you bring a tithe?
I hold out the ring.
My own ring. That's not exactly the tithe we were looking for. A tithe is usually taken in blood, but alas, I suppose you're not initiated into our customs. Truly, you seem to have came about us in a very strange manner. Well, shall we head somewhere a little bit more private? And he gestures towards the wall and where he stepped out, and you see a swirling portal of black and purple.
Sure. Shall
Yeah,
we
I'll
take
go in.
Rosalind with us? Or
No, I think
coming
Rosalind
back?
should... We'll leave Rosalind behind.
Okay.
Okay. As you step through the portal, a small room of absolute nondescription, really. There are 4 wooden chairs, a wooden table, and he's a sort of... Just a bit to the side is an iron chair that he sits on. He sort of waves his hand nonchalantly at the table, and a small pitcher of water and 4 glasses take place. He says, well, let me tell you of us, and then perhaps we may decide what business we have with each other. The Shadowvale, as you may know, have been bringing people to order within the country. Within the continent, sorry. Sogravia has stood stronger than we believe possible against us, but we make inroads day by day. You may have heard the progress of the war down at Kavach and over at Ilsdarian. We have certain armies available to us, but it is fair to say that is not our standard method. We seek to bring disruption and disorder before we bring our own order. Converting people one by one. We have some few informants in very high places currently, but somebody who is of the people would be of great use to us. Perhaps in return we could provide various parts of information. What it is that you wish to know?
That's a good question.
Do you wish to know of the
I don't think
Shadowvale?
we've
Do you wish to
thought
know of
that-
our order, or do you merely seek to become an agent of chaos?
I think we're just curious about you guys.
Well,
I mean,
we're
many people directed us to you, but they never told us why.
we're an ancient race far to the east. If you've been directed to us, it is because somebody thought you could be of use. We pay well, in the purest of gold. And some tasks fairly minor, some tasks fairly major, may be of to your interest. We also provide assistance of sorts where necessary. He sort of sizes you up. There are various things that we could help you with, and various things you could help us with. Let me have a think. And in that note, we're going to take a short break because I'm going to let you guys make some decisions here. Welcome back. We are not here. How did this happen? Oh, we kind of are, right? I see. Nairn Dartmouth stands before you and he says, well, firstly, some aid, I guess, maybe in order. Please, a show of good faith. And he hands you a small pouch. He says, you may open this a little later on, but suffice to say, I think these items may come in helpful for the group. Secondly, you have already been, I guess, agents of chaos in the area. Perhaps that is why you were pointed our way. There is one fairly simple job that we would have you do. The Magus Arcane is already a political mess, shall we say. What holds it together are the 3 leaders of the Magus Arcane themselves. Rialdan, Navanius, and Yakotur. Now, Yakotur is the manipulator of the group. He's a player of politic. And he's known to push the borders of what is appropriate or not appropriate in terms of magic. If you could sort of make suggestions whilst in the college that perhaps Yakotur is taking over a little bit, perhaps that he is practicing some darker magics, then this would be your inroad to create disrepute within the community. Perhaps giving you the chance to elevate yourselves. A couple of these items will allow you to display some semblance of magical talent. Perhaps you may not have. This will be your inroad to the Magus Arcane. From within, you can create complete chaos in your own manners however you wish, but Yakotur will be your key. Sully his name, create difficulty for him, and success will come your way. Secondly, there is somebody who we need removed. But this task is no simple task. Now, you may have heard of Amon, the diplomat, the Raven, always at the king's side. He uses agents of his own, one of whom is a very bubbly and effervescent elf here in Carthan. She goes by many names, but Rosaria is the most common. She's also been known as Sara, but her true name is Corwyn. That is Qorwyn. She has come from Zorenia. She is an elven mage of some ability, but what is most impressive about her is ability to keep everything totally secret and mysterious about her. But she is definitely one of Amon's most necessary assistants. Amon has caused all manner of trouble for us. We cannot track his movement, we cannot work out where his next move is going to be, and he always seems one step ahead of us. If you could take down this assistant of his, then a huge reward would be yours, and you would find yourself very in with the Shadow of Hell, if you would. Finally, the plan in the long term. The Magus Arcane are key to the protection of Sogravia. Their magical finesse has kept us at bay both in terms of the war and in terms of our infiltration. They are a powerhouse. Should we be able to bring them down either by disrepute and inside politicking or merely by taking them over, then this would advance our goal thoroughly. Would this be amenable to you all?
I have no objection.
Yeah, sounds good.
Perhaps in the meantime you may wish to make a name for yourselves. There is a bandit master, shall we say. He goes by the name of Ruckus, and he runs various bandit bands across the land. Suffice to say, he is perhaps not destined to belong in Sogravia, if you catch my drift. He has some bandits in the area who you may be able to assist, perhaps work for. If you can make contact with him, he is based in Zorenia, up to the north, in the Elven City, or shortly outside. You will find, and he sort of brings out a map and he marks it for you. So shortly outside of Zorenia in the north, to the west slightly, you will find a bandit camp where Ruckus operates. He has bandit camps all over the country, and perhaps if you were to just make a few robberies, a few highwayman tricks, perhaps spin some gold for yourself, or get involved in one of the smugglers' rings, you may be able to make a bit of repute for yourself without necessarily revealing to the authorities who you are. That is merely a suggestion. Now, you know how to contact me. Do you have any questions?
Is there a time frame for any of these?
The sooner the better, for everyone. But
So no hard time.
it is your
Got it.
choice. As I say, reward will come in solid, hard gold. Any other
All
questions?
sounds good to me.
You have anything that could be of assistance for us? Stairs?
When you find yourselves alone, have a look in the bag.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about the bag. My bad.
Oh, if that is all. And he gestures towards the wall where the swirling portal has returned.
All right, I'm
Okay,
out.
goodbye.
We shall see ourselves out.
As you return to your rooms, the curious pouch is, let's say Strix has it. And it contains quite a few items. As you pull things out, you find first of all a studded leather armor +1. You find 2 rapiers of some sort of magical sense and 2 daggers to match. You find a pair of braces that seem to offer some form of defense and a ring that does the same. And lastly, a ring of spell storing. These items you can dish out as you wish as and when you have the time. And
What was
I will
the
list
item
them.
after studded leather?
You have studded leather +1.
2 rapiers, 2 daggers.
2 rapiers, 2 daggers of somewhat magical means. So +1. And a braces and a ring of defense and a spell storing. There you go.
Who wants what?
Well, I think, it's fair to say that you can manage between them post-session, unless you are planning on using any of them immediately.
I can say for sure nothing here is useful to me.
I'll take the ring of defense.
Okay.
I wouldn't need anything here more than anyone else.
Is it fair to say Fenn's eyeing up the braces?
Yeah.
Thought she might be.
I'll definitely give the studded leather to Mac. Mac gets in there and I don't.
That's Rosalind, for those of you who don't know.
Oh, sorry, Rosalind. My bad. I don't use melee weapons.
Ah. My mistake.
I had the dagger specifically to not have to shoot the nope. I'm assuming you'd like to make amends to one of these
No.
items?
No, they are as they are. Useful
Yeah,
things
it's
may
fucked.
useful things may visit more down the road, but alas, this is what you have. Is it fair to say at this point in the evening you would probably like to take some rest?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We shall do a brief whoop, whoop, take a rest, take a long one, and we shall resume in the morning. It is now morning. A brief rest. Consider yourselves awake.
I think much.
Rosalind doesn't seem to be present in the room.
You're no.
She's snuck off.
Early riser. So what's our plan for the day?
You'd have to ask Rosalind. Haven't got a clue.
We should head over to, get rid of the head.
The what?
Oh yeah, to the shady tavern to hand in the
Yeah.
guy's head.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Don't want it staying in your bag of holding.
As you cross the town,
Oh, thankfully, that's
to
not how
Irvy's.
bags of holding work.
As you cross the town to Irvy's, you reach the door and you hear password.
Shut the fuck up and let us in.
Oh dear, we don't seem to know the password. You did learn the password before, I believe. Password was Nightshade. So,
Never heard that
we'll
word in my
presume
life.
you give the password and enter
I
on
like
in.
my password better.
As you enter in, there is the regulars there. You have a strange-looking man, sort of slightly dark-figured. He was the drow that you met before. You have the bar lady herself, and various others, but the barmaid was Rebel Selms, sorry. You have the very, very large Torvuk standing at the door. The orc who gave you the quest is not present, but Rebel had said that you would be able to turn it into her.
I got some. Yeah.
It's all you. You've got the head.
Is it safe to give it to you here?
Yes.
It's a
yes.
delicate item.
This is a place of secrets and nothing but. No eyes come here that are not wanted.
Put the bag
is this...
on.
Okay, is this the success of Yelnuk's quest?
Yes.
Wonderful. Well, he's left this for you. And she hands you a quiver and
Wow.
and 1,500 rubles. And a strange necklace. Sorry, let me just pull something up. And that's, yeah, that is your reward.
So 300 rubles each.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Is there any information on the quiver or necklace?
Make an Arcana check.
That's my favourite. 14.
The amulet is an amulet of health. The quiver is still a mystery to you.
May I do a separate Arcana check?
You can. Give it a go.
19.
This is an endless quiver, but the arrows are not your standard arrows. They are in fact poisonous arrows, dealing 1d3 poison damage on hit. Moon, I will hand that over to you afterwards. I'm assuming that you would like
Yes.
it. Yes.
I would like to give it to Defender. No.
We'll throw the arrows! Although you have to throw them at her first, and she can only react once per turn.
Combo attack.
Yes. Fantastic. So yeah, that is what you get. And she sort of... Does that conclude our business for today?
Yeah, I believe so.
You tell Jurgen to come in on your way out. He's the halfling sat outside. Have a good day.
The goddamn halfling down.
She's done with you.
Alright,
Yeah.
I'm
well,
done with her.
We're done with her. Bye.
God, we probably should have made a to-do list because, like, it felt like we had so much to do.
First of all, I'll tell the guy outside to go inside.
You visited Cray for a black sapphire earlier and then decided to completely not ask him about it whatsoever and left. You were told that the feeding trough is requiring a little bit of assistance, but you haven't done anything with that. Ula Shadowmantle, the Sisterhood representative, offered you access to the Magus Arcane, as did the Bard Drustin offered Lusk specifically access to the Magus Arcane. The Sisterhood, the bar lady in Slink's Paradise asked you if you were able to steal a ring from the Irvon Manor. And you have 3 bounties to complete.
Alright, we have like an hour
And
left.
then, obviously, the Shadow Veil asked you to make various inroads in various places. I would say probably more half an hour left.
Alright. Let's go to the Magus Arcane.
Okay.
All right, this should be a fucking great time for me. Can't wait.
Within the bag that you opened yesterday were also 6 rings. And each ring appears to have no effect whatsoever, but he did say that they would give you the appearance of some magical talent, should you wish to enter the Magus Arcane this would probably be a good time to slip them on. It won't give you any magical abilities, it will merely give the semblance of magical ability to you.
Is the recruiter... Oh,
Leoval is sitting at Leoval's desk outside his house.
alright. I'm
You
gonna
also
go there.
say that there's for people without magic to go in there.
Sorry?
And the guy that we talked to last night also tell us that we don't have to be magic to
He
go
did
there?
indeed. And he saw you in your current non-magical ability form.
So I'm not gonna put a ring on.
Excellent.
I'll put
Yeah.
his on. Maybe I'm twice as powerful.
Leoval looks up and
Oh,
says, "Oh,
yeah.
Keiko! Good to see you. Changed your
I'm glad
mind
you
on joining
recognized
joining our guild. Oh shit, you were in a different format last time, weren't you?
Well,
My
he
bad.
knows because
Yeah,
he said that
he does. He recognizes your aura, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think you gave him the name Keiko because you were a girl. But anyway, let's go with it. Let's run with it now. 'Cause,
Keiko is a girl's name. That's
oh, it
why
is right.
it's
Okay,
so-
fantastic.
Yeah.
Keiko, good to see you. Have you changed your mind on joining the Mages Arcane?
Well, yes, but I have also did what you asked. I'm not sure if it has gotten around to you yet.
Gambling. Yes, I like it. I like it. We have arranged a couple of things to be found in his possession. Suffice to say, you did okay. You did okay. And he hands you a bag containing 1,000 rubles.
Cool. I'm gonna hand that out. Split it amongst us.
As you are discussing this, Defender, you take 2 points of piercing damage from a dagger hurled by a strange halfling. I'll swear that I missed earlier. Apologies. Take it in the neck. So, you wish to join up with the Mages Arcane, do you?
Yes, I spoke to many people, and they all suggest that I do.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do you have a patron?
I'm gonna go with Bard dude, whose name I wrote
Justin.
down somewhere. Yeah, that dude.
Oh, Justin's a wonderful gentleman. And very pretty, if I might say so myself. Well, yes, well in that case, head on in. The Bard's College is round the corridor to the left, and you'll find at the end. That is where Justin is. Or at least usually is at this kind of time of day.
Outside, out of character, the group can come in with me, right?
Yeah, very much so.
Okay. Alright.
Opening the door will open it for all of you.
Alright.
You
Okay,
stand
thank
before you stand before two fine iron and wood doors with a golden 7-point star inlaid across the center. This is just sort of, I mean, it's almost like touchable from Leoval's desk. He is right outside the front door.
Okay. I guess I used the wand to open up the door using the little ritual that Calum told me.
Okay, the doors open towards you, and before you, you see sort of 7 or 8 portals and a long corridor wrapping round the outside of the tower left and right.
Okay.
A couple of young mages, initiates, sort of scurry on by, and they look over curiously at you, but they don't make eye contact.
Okay. I guess. Actually, I'm gonna talk to the party real quick.
Mm-hmm.
This is. So, what exactly is the plan?
Talk
We're
to
just gonna
Killian.
talk to that. Yeah, is that his name?
We can. How about this? We go in, talk to him, and then we go over to talk to Killian.
Wait, who's him that's not Killian?
Yeah.
Well, we talk to Bardman, and then after our business is concluded, we talk to Killian about the amulet.
Alright, okay, yeah, sure.
Yeah?
Oh, that's fine with me.
Everyone following? Okay. So yeah, I'm gonna head over to...
Down the
Shit,
corridor
where
to the
is it?
left to find Justin's, to find the Bard's College.
Yeah.
You come upon, as you head to the left, a sort of large door that says on it in quite ornate letters, Bard's College, behind which you hear various music and singing coming.
I buff Losk with Eagle Splendor.
You
Give her
can.
advantage on charisma checks just in case there's some charisma shenanigans going on in here.
That charisma shenanigans always catches us off guard.
You know these bards.
You may indeed. The door is open to your... should you wish.
Yeah, I'm gonna enter.
And who should greet you but Drustin? Why, Losk, you came! Oh, wonderful!
Yes. Yes, I did. I am interested in joining the Magus Arcane.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, we'll have to get the paperwork done. We can do that together another time. For now, come and meet my companions. And he's going to fire a shit ton of names at you that I'll give you after the session because you're never going to keep up. But
Okay.
basically, he gestures towards various female and male companions who are bards, one and all. And they're sort of very welcoming and very greeting. And a few pointed questions, you know. Which college are you part of? What sort of magic do you study? Do you have spells in your arsenal? You know, all those sorts of questions are coming forth. But it's fair to say they were interrupting each other so much that realistically you didn't get any of them. And Drustin sort of guides you over to the side and he says, look, for now, if you would just kindly sign here, this will give you full initiation to the Bard's College. You will, of course, need to designate an instrument. This may not be to your liking, nor to you, but it is unfortunately a necessity. You may choose from any of these, and there is a list of sort of all the bardic instruments. You will need to designate one, if you please, Ross. Sort of flute, lute, drum, viola, all that sort of stuff.
Lost does have a lute in his possession, so...
Okay. You designate lute. Fantastic. That's wonderful. I play the lute too. You know how it is. Sometimes we are expected to do more music than one might expect. Realistically, we are spellcasters primarily, I believe. Musicians secondly, but... Well, we are expected to entertain, and you will be expected to give a performance at the end of your initiation. This can be a small performance.
Musically?
No. This can be a performance of acting, of prose, of verse, of speech, of comedy, however you wish. But I will warn you now, you will need to give said speech.
Speech about being initiated.
Oh, performance. Sorry, said performance.
Okay. Shit. My notes are not in chronological order.
What's that happening now?
Yes. So he welcomes you in, and you are now an official member of the Magus Arcane.
That was very fast.
You are only an initiate. This is,
Right.
you know, the time at which you would. Oh, sorry, we seem to have entered battle music. We just.
All right. I assume that our business is concluded.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'll be nice if you come by occasionally, check in on us all, but realistically, your studies are to be your own. I am not a hard master. I only ask that, as I said, first of all, you prepare your performance, and after you've settled in a couple of days, I may have a task or two of you for the minor nature. But
Okay.
I think given your already somewhat prodigious talents and your somewhat helpful nature, it shouldn't be long before you find yourself an acolyte.
Okay. By chance, we were hoping to speak to Killian before we left. Do you know where to find him?
Second portal. It's the black one.
Okay, thank you.
Of course it is.
It would be. It's the master of necromancy.
All right, let's head on over to speak to Killian.
Okay, as you proceed down the corridor, a very imperious-looking gentleman comes towards you. This is not the previous gentleman you knew. This is Yakutur. He's slightly hunched back, and he sort of... He looks over and he goes, well, who might you be?
I'm Lusk.
New member here?
Yeah.
Very good. College?
Bard.
Oh,
College of Lore.
I see. Okay, well... I suppose it's not the worst it could be. It's a shame you won't be joining any of my classes, but... It's good to have you on board, I guess. And what are the rest of you?
My name is Strix. I'm more of a healer.
A cleric?
That's right.
We do have a cleric's college here at the Magus Arcane. You should consider joining.
Who should I speak to about that?
Who's on duty today? No, I'm not sure. If you head to the end and you find the blue portal, you will find the cleric's domain. Somebody will be on duty for the day. If you're looking for a patron, you might speak with Brother Marcus at the temple. You may also speak with... oh, shit. Name. Why have I put them in different places? That really doesn't help anyone. Oh, apologies. Merelda. Merelda is also looking for an apprentice right now.
I'll keep that in mind, thank you.
And he turns to Fen and Tyler and says, "And what have you two?"
Tylon.
Good to meet you. Mage?
Or
Tyler.
scout.
What are the magical types? You a sellsword? Do you come to offer your services? Or are you merely taking a social visit?
A social visit, but also some sort of service, you could say.
Rialdan's looking for a sellsword or two. I'm not going to speak to him. You'll find his office on the top floor. It's the Golden Portal. All three of our officers are present. If the door is closed to you, then you're not welcome. Good to meet you. And what about you? And he looks at Defender.
Name's Defender. I'm a monk of sorts.
Defender. Someone's looking for you. A dwarf. I believe Rialdan has him chained up. You might wish to speak to him.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, very good. You sell sword too? Or sell fist, I guess? You said you're a monk. You available for work?
More or less.
Well, I suggest the group of you speak to Rialdan, especially if you've just enrolled, young man. Rialdan likes to give you all a way of contacting the Magus Arcane directly. And if that's all. And then he sort of nods and he sort of sweeps past you.
This
We
is
talked to.
necromancer guy, right?
No, Yakutura is one of the three heads of the Magus Arcane.
That's the guy we've
That's
got
the guy
to
we gotta-
politically lean on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So should we speak to Rialdan and then Killian? Or should we go in the order?
Poor Strix is sitting there going, and what about the other one? He's also been asked to speak to the cleric's domain if he wishes.
Okay,
That's
yeah. So
fine.
who
that
should?
can be in the back burner for a while.
Okay, so Killian or Rialdan first?
I'm not particular to either one. Whichever one.
Didn't we get a
Fancy.
feeling that Killian would take an interest in Thailand?
That was your price you were offering to pay him for this amulet.
Yeah. So excited about this interaction.
It depends how long you want to delay that.
Yeah. Fucking might as well get it over with.
All right. So Killian, it is. All right, let's head over to speak to Killian.
Okay, as you come across the black portal, you can step through.
Mhm.
You enter what appears to be a large summoning chamber. There are 6 mages sitting down and 1 female giving a lecture. Over to your right, you see an office with a sort of a black mark that sort of looks like a pentagram. It is clear that this is the office of the maestro.
Okay. I'll go over and knock on the door.
Enter.
I entered.
I follow behind.
A long, grey-bearded gentleman looks up at you, spectacles on. Oh, it's very interesting. What can I do
Hello.
for you?
I understand that you must be Killian.
That's me. Speak for business.
We have, we came across a certain vampire, a truly heartbroken vampire who may be in possession of an amulet capable of speaking to the dead.
My amulet! Well, I wondered where that had gone. It's very useful for the pupils, but not a huge loss. Why? What deal is this?
Well, we came upon certain people's requests that he could possibly keep the amulet, and I understand that such thing is rare, so
What's in it for
we
me?
thought you might. I'm sorry?
What's in it for me?
We have a companion here who might pique your interest.
Oh,
He kind of gestures over to Tylan.
well, come on over. Don't stand over there. Why are you particularly interesting?
I'm gonna walk over to him and take my mask off. So you
Oh,
can see the pale
a
pale
reborn.
skin.
Well, I've spoken with a couple of your kind before. Fear not, no strange questions. None of that. But perhaps a even stranger request.
Great.
This,
What is it?
it could hurt slightly, but I don't know if you're aware your skin is very useful in the summoning of certain people, and I don't need a pound of flesh or anything, nothing so sinister. Merely a grafting. It would take me perhaps a couple of seconds and may hurt ever so slightly. And with that, you would have paid 3 or 4 times over for the amulet.
That's all you need?
That is all I need. I mean, speaking with reborns is not particularly different to speaking to people who are alive or people who are dead. It's just a bit of both at the same time. I don't suppose you know the reason for your reappearance upon the material plane.
I do not.
Ah, damn, that would have been a tale. No, skin graft will do.
Fucking unpleasant one for sure, though.
Yes, I've heard it's not the most peaceful experience. You think you're going onwards and you find yourself back here. How do you find your
I
life
don't sup-
since you've returned? Is it fulfilling?
I wouldn't say it's got any point.
Yes, that seems to be the verdict. Most people, even when they go to their grave thinking that their life goals are not completed, when they return, they find that their previous goals have no real meaning to them. Do you mind if I take that sample? It won't hurt.
Yeah, yep.
It might hurt. Oh, heads up. He puts what seems to be a sort of strange... It almost looks like a sort of large pencil sharpener. And he puts it against your arm and it clicks very briefly. You feel a slight twinge, but that's about all. And he very sort of carefully takes this and places it on the side of his desk, and he says, "A gruesome work, necromancy. I apologize for the grimness of my request, but you have no idea how much time that's going to save me. You may do as you wish with the amulet. If I could ask
Is
just
there
one more question. Sorry, what was your name?"
mine?
"Yes.
Tylan's.
As I said, you have paid for the amulet 3 or 4 times over, perhaps. This is a strange offer, but is there anybody from your past life that perhaps you may wish to speak to?"
Yeah.
I may be able to contact them for you, assuming they have also passed over. This is an open
Well,
request.
they definitely have.
You may not wish to do so in the presence of your companions here, but should you wish at any point to make contact, I'll do it for free. You really have saved me a lot of time today. And I understand it's not particularly comfortable to come and display yourself as an object of curiosity.
I would say that we planned to the Mage's Arcane a bit. If I could be of service for other things for you, feel free to ask or offer anything, and I wouldn't mind any extra graphs for you.
Why, that's an incredibly generous offer if you're going to be staying around town. And it's primarily Rialdan that has work for the less magical of beings, but there is something very minor that perhaps one of you might be of assistance with. This is strange. I, the magician, am asking assistance of those, if you don't mind me saying, lesser magically gifted with a problem of magical nature, but suffice to say, I haven't got the time. Bear with me a second, and he heads out sort of under his desk and starts digging in a drawer, and then he brings forth what appears to be a skull. And he says, place your hand upon the skull if you would, sir.
Place my hand against the skull.
And as you do, it gives way, and it appears to be made of almost, feather-light material. It's squishy. And he turns around and he said, this was a priceless magical artifact. A skull of a great wizard through which we could make contact, and it seems to have been replaced with, well, this ridiculous trick of an item. If you are able to ask around amongst the apprentices, pranks are a very common thing amongst the apprentices. You might speak to Maestro Furlock. He seems to have a shirt that gets smaller every time he puts it on, which personally I find hilarious, but he's a little upset. We also have a particular mage who is rather adept at animal transfiguration. You may wish to speak to Caldur and see if he's been doing any other pranks. He's definitely the head of the group. Not so long ago, he changed an owl to speak the human language. Quite terrifying, and quite impractical, but rather magnificent magical feat, I might say, for an apprentice. He tends to be the ringleader of the pranking groups. At least those who dare to prank us. But I really could do with that artifact back. It is somebody I consult with on a regular basis. As I said, I know the necromantic arts are a little gruesome, but, well, if any of you come across him, I would be most grateful. And thanks once again for your kindness.
Seeing as I think I might be in contact with you personally the most from here, is there any way for me and you to get in contact easily?
Rialdan will give you a necklace that allows you contact with the college directly. Those of us more attuned can pick up on a particular person's emanations more easily than others. You might struggle to contact me directly, but I certainly would sense you contacting us directly.
Okay.
Of course, you can also pass by my office. I teach 7 hours a day, and I'm always present here, sadly, in my studies. There is something. Perhaps not now. When you return next time, I would like to speak to you of something a little more desperate in measure, but a little more private to me. Perhaps if you come by some evening, we may talk of it. All of you.
Oh. Okay.
Any other business?
Is your class a class of necro?
It is. I teach necromancy, although I also teach people how to restrain from using it in irresponsible ways.
Out of character, Rialdan has the dwarf, right?
Rialdan does have the dwarf.
Okay.
At least, so you were told.
I have a deal of sorts for you.
Yes.
I'd be willing to be a subject of one of your classes in exchange for a favor. If you ever wanted or needed. No terrible favors, but
What sort of favor did you have in mind?
nonetheless. Nothing currently.
Ah, I see. For a favor in the future. Well,
Yes. If we ever need an expert like you.
if you are willing to stand before the 14 headmasters of the college, those are the people who to whom I give my lessons. And my apprentice over there, and he gestures towards the lady who is currently teaching.
Makes no difference who I stand in front of. It's awkward, no matter who it is.
Yes, I imagine most embarrassing. Well, I'll try not to call on that. Perhaps these grafts are enough for any favor you may require in the future. And I hope to keep a good relationship with you.
A mask of many faces. A long way from me.
He then hands you an ointment from his drawer, and he says, and should you have any of the itching and pains common to those of your kind, any skin issues, I would ask that you don't rub it on a particular part of your arm so that grafts are still available, but for the rest of your body, you may find this eases that and makes you feel a little more warmth.
But don't rub it on my arms, he asked.
Just the one arm, unless you wish me to take a graft from somewhere slightly more painful than wings.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Well, if you don't mind, I'm fairly busy this afternoon, but I look forward to speaking to you again. Best of luck with that skull I'm looking for.
Yeah,
We
we're
have
gonna
time
need
to talk to
Yeah, you have plenty of time.
in the session.
Yeah, you have enough time to talk to Rialdan.
Okay, let's go talk to Rialdan. Let's speedrun this.
Okay, as you leave through the first portal and you return through the golden portal, you see in front of you a large golden door with a sort of golden colour and not in actual gold, with a red dragon present. As you look to the right, you see a black door with a golden dragon present. And as you look to the left, you see a green door with a dark blue dragon present. The red dragon is the door that you've been told leads to Rialdan.
Okay, let's go through that one.
You approach the door but cannot quite get to it. It appears to be obstructed by some kind of force. A young man is stood sort of outside and he says, "Do you have business with the Archmage?"
Yeah.
Place your hand on the dragon.
Okay, Lost places his hand.
The door opens towards you. You may wish to step out the way. And Rialdan calls out, "I see you've come. Took up my advice, did you?"
Yeah.
A member of the Magus Arcane. Well, welcome, welcome. And he pulls out a long silver chain with a gold-pointed star on the end. He says, I wouldn't place this directly in contact with your skin unless you wish me to be privy to your thoughts at all times. But should you wish to communicate with the Magus Arcane, please merely take this in hand and, well, you've seen how it works. Alas, I still haven't found Galdar. I was curious, as I said. I'm not really searching particularly hard. I mentioned I might have some work for those of you sellswordy types. There is a group of bandits outside Zorenia that have been causing havoc in the local lands. I wondered if merely you could perhaps attempt to sell your services to them and let me know of any plans that they might have. Perhaps be an internal spy, if you would. You'll be rewarded handsomely. Any information you can bring me will garner 500 rubles. Any direct information that prevents the loss of life or theft will result in 1,000 rubles. And anybody you can bring to me to arrest will result in 3,000 rubles.
Okay.
It's fair to say that you are walking a fine line in your work, so just make sure you don't get caught partaking in any raids too violently. And a pleasure to have you on board with us. I've completely forgotten your name. What was it, sorry?
Lusk.
What about you, Cleric? Are you signing up to the Magus Arcane?
That was on my to-do list.
Wonderful. Well, here is your necklace for communication, and at some point, if you wish to speak to Flavie, who's on duty today, or if you wish to come by tomorrow, Meralda will be present. Both of them are looking for apprentices currently. You may also speak to Brother Marcus, but personally, I wouldn't advise working with him directly. Not that he isn't a good man.
Marcus?
Not that he isn't a good man. He's merely a very busy man, and you may find your apprenticeship takes, well, longer than you have to live. He's slow to get to most things at the moment. He's many tasks. He insists he's willing to take an apprentice, but right now, I personally would rather he didn't. Brother Marcus of the Cleric Domain is one of the only few to also maintain work at the temple nearby, you see, and therefore finds himself with fingers in many pies, so to speak.
Thank you for this information.
No problem. Is there anything else I can do for you?
We heard someone was looking for one of our companions. And then he gestures over to Defender.
Oh, you wouldn't happen to be the famous Defender, would you? Or are there many gnolls wandering around town?
That would be me.
Well, this inane dwarf seems to be searching for you. Bear with me a second. And he sort of pulls out a wand from somewhere and he makes a conjuring gesture, and a sort of cage of red flame appears in the center of the room, and inside is Engor.
I thought it was my job to fuck up, not yours.
Well, let's just say that the damn orc in the tavern has a mouth on him. Good to see you, lass.
Yeah, Dufenda bows, like, very deeply. It's nice to see you too.
Rialdan leans over and says, I don't suppose that this could be conducted outside of my office, could it? And he sort of gestures again with the wand and the cage disappears and the dwarf walks free. And Rialdan turns to Engor and he says, try and stay out of any tavern brawls. It's unlike me to interfere with the militia, but you piqued my curiosity. Count yourself lucky and I'm sorry for the night's stay. Engor sort of looks at him and, you prick, walks out the door. And we will leave your conversation with Engor for another session. And we shall conclude there. It is fair to say it is mid-evening and you would be able to go and have another rest at the tavern. You've spent all day sort of in study at the Mage's Arcane and making acquaintances. Strix, would you be making your way to sign up with Flavio Morelda? Or would you like to do that the following day?
I can head there.
Okay, we'll allow that to happen off stream. But we shall consider your papers also signed. But between sessions, we'll let you decide between Morelda and Flavi. So that leads us to our MVP for the day. Defender, did you have anybody in particular in mind? Or anything?
I like Losk's, or Tylon/Losk's little bird entrance.
Yes, I like that. Strix?
Yeah, the Dove Mantle was definitely the winner.
Losk?
Yeah, I'd say the same, but I do like that Defender got to have a small role. Hopefully she'll have a bigger one next session.
And Tylen?
Oh, for sure, the fact that I'm gonna fuck with Lusk all the time with this goddamn mantle.
Well, my MVP was your interaction with Carrot, but, you know, perhaps your fire-breathing donkey is not as exciting as a mantle that creates a fanfare. So...
You gave him... the part that makes it so good is it got given to the fucking rogue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can't write that right. It's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Worst person to get it.
So that leads me to say thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for playing. To those of you watching, thank you very much for being present and watching. And for my players to say their farewells. Thank you very much for playing, guys. I hope you had a good session. And if you'd...
Thank you
I got to kill him.
for the session.
That's alright, and if you'd wave goodbye to the stream, I would, well, don't wave, because they won't hear that. But you get the idea.
I'm waving so hard.
We shall resume again tomorrow with Drathnor Keep at 6:30 PM EST, and we shall resume with Evil Sogravia next week at 3 PM EST. Should you wish to catch up on any missed episodes, please visit the YouTube channel where you'll find various playlists for them. And, thanks for being here, guys. We're going to raid Geeks Codex. Geeks Codex are a D&D session that I've been following on the quiet. They're a great team, and this is the Ebb and Death. They're quite a long way in, this sort of session 25. But they're a very story-based RPG D&D group, and I really enjoy them, so please show them some love, show them some affection, give them some quack, and we shall talk to you guys soon. Thanks very much.